Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone live panel, episode 2 of Series 1, The End of the World. I will now, while we are waiting, and excuse me if you hear Ted being a little baby again. I thought we really don't know what's right. He knows there's something going on, and he knows that everybody is. Everybody is a bit on his. By the way, if you haven't watched myself, Ballstreck, and Rabbi, we're on Jason's channel, and we did a stream on the whole thing that's going on with the world. So we're not going to mention it on this panel. Obviously, we're going to talk Doctor Who on this. Sorry about that. Ted just heard another dog barking now, so has decided to let it bark. I am actually sending an email now to all my guests. Sorry again about Ted. But he does, even the dog has sensed that there's something going on. As you know yourselves, animals are very, they're very receptive. They know when human beings are stressed. And trust me, it's who else? Oh yeah. There we go. So we've got a couple of people that are still watching the episode, right? So a couple of the more panelists will be joining us a little bit later on. Some in a few minutes. Some are just finishing up the episode now, and some are only going to watch the episode. So also didn't I? Actually, I've got to send one more invite just in case they do decide to come on. I did say I'd send them a link now. Whether they come on or not now is another thing because they're busy. But hopefully we might be able to get them on. If I'm actually writing in the name properly. There we go. Right. That email is sent. So we're just waiting on our guests. So while we're waiting on my guests, I've sent all my guests an email. So all my guests have received. There's our first guest now. So we got Crystal Daniel Charlotte. Welcome. Blue Bonnet, who's joining us now in a second. Mr. Hyde's podcast. And by the way, Mr. Hyde actually has a YouTube channel. Go and check out their podcasts. As you know yourself, you have a YouTube on this channel and you follow me, you subscribe to me, I have no problem shouting out your YouTube channel there. So go and subscribe. Another person to subscribe to. We've got Master Andrew. We've got Daniel Colin is here. Jesus Christ, what is going on with me? Tongue twisting everywhere. Stephen Cassidy, John Steed is here. Lone Wolf, Policebox.net is here. And we might as well bring on their panel because they're starting to all show up now. So, regular on this stream, obviously had the unfortunate pleasure, like us all, to review the garbage that was Series 12, but we get to do something fun today. So I would like to introduce everybody to Blue Bonnet Hoovian.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm okay.
Good. Nice to hear it. And it's nice to hear you so cheerful after the last 3 weeks have been a bit crazy.
Yeah, they've been a little stressful.
But we're getting there. And he was on earlier on, he went to have a nap. And I reckon he's all fighting fit, ready to go. It's the Rabbi from another planet.
Hello.
Hey,
How
Rabbi.
are you?
Here, do you want to do the competition now, or do you want to wait a little bit later on?
I thought we'd wait until we did the Breaking Bad stream. So we have to work out a day to do that.
Right.
So I was thinking we could do that tomorrow. We could do it Tuesday, and then and I don't mind we do it on your channel, Bowles, whoever's channel. I don't care.
Ballstreck is going to be joining us. He's just watching the end of the episode, and Jason will be joining us as well. I think he's actually gone off to watch it now, and he'll join us as well. So we have a big panel tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Chris is here as well. Hey, Chris, and Master Andrew. I think I already is that everybody now. I think that's everybody, isn't it? Lone Wolf and John Steed. If there's anybody I've missed, let me know anyway. Well, we're all here for obviously Series 1, Episode 2, The End of the World. I mean, if you haven't watched, do we need to do an episode synopsis or under? I think we'll just do a brief overview. So, obviously, after the first episode, Rose makes the decision to go with the Doctor. In his Tardis and go off and do their thing. So he brings her to the first place he brings her to is a kind of a platform. What's a platform 1, isn't it? It's called platform 1, and the rich and the famous are going there to see the Earth burn because the sun has expanded and basically it's volcano day. So the world is going to end, but everything isn't as it seems. Obviously, it's a Doctor Who episode, and stuff starts happening on the old space station. But look, you have seen. I don't even know why I'm going.
Most people have.
Yeah, most people have. Like Jason is only new to the show, so people like him, I can understand. But everybody else that's in the chat, if you haven't seen it by now. Why?
Spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Major spoilers.
And spoilers. Right, let's start off. We'll start off with the good, right? Because there's plenty of good. And we're going to be here for a long time. So, Blue Bonnet. We'll start. What's your... I don't even know how to start this now.
I'll be honest, it's not my favorite. But it's just a lot of fun. And Doctor Who, like we've stated here before, Rabbi and yourself, we've all stated that, Doctor Who doesn't always have to be complex. It can just be fun. And to me, this has a lot of that. Watching it again, I've watched it many times. Yeah. It has a very classic feel to it. Like I could see them doing something like this back in the day. And I think that's what Russell T was trying to do, which is much appreciated. Cassandra is I love her character. Yes, it's a little over the top, but it's hilarious. And it's just a lot of fun, and it makes you feel good when you're watching it. You're not having to overthink anything. And it, the episode has a first. This is the first time we've seen the face of Bo. So technically this is the first time we see Captain Jack Harkness, but we just don't know. When we first saw that, we didn't know that yet.
Possibly.
So basically, so just for anybody that hasn't actually seen the episode, it's basically this episode is about the last human, basically. And it's this woman, Lady Cassandra. And over the years, she's had, obviously it must have started off with plastic surgery. And then when they got later on into technology, then she ended up being a piece of skin on the trampoline looking board thing, right? Just say she looked like a human trampoline and her brain in the bottom of it, right? So she apparently, but her and Rose actually clashed because Rose then kind of gets her nose out of joint and is like, well,
she does, doesn't she?
Yeah. She does quite a lot in this episode, get her nose out of the joint.
There is a little bit of conflict in this episode with Rose and the Doctor because
you're right.
Basically what happens is he's kind of shown off a little bit and she doesn't like the fact that he is, and he makes a bit of a joke. And she doesn't like it, and she basically pulls him up in the second episode, which I thought was actually great because, he was showing off, but the reality of the situation was you had taken her from her home, and she was years into the future. Basically, she was told the whole human race was moved on, or the planet was about to be destroyed. But we've got our next guest actually before we continue, and it's Bolstrak, who's just fresh off after watching The End of the World. So welcome, my friend.
Hello, long time no see.
Hey.
Hey, Blue Bonnet, how are things?
Better.
Better?
Yeah, even better. I got a drink and I'm chilling.
That's I'm drinking coffee, so
that's good too.
Yeah. Cool. So End of the world.
Initial thought. Yeah, well, she's all initial thoughts on this episode when you first seen it, and obviously now seeing it years later, has our perception of this episode changed? Has our opinions changed on the episode? That's the way we should actually do it.
Yeah.
Have your opinions actually changed on the episode since you first seen it? And if it has, what has changed for you? Or is it better than you originally thought? Or is it weaker than your original? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear. Yeah, my feelings have definitely changed.
Right.
Because when I first saw it, I really didn't know what to think. I'm just like, you're like immediately plunged into a very new world, Doctor. And I hear what you're saying, Blue Bonnet, but I really fundamentally did disagree with you when you said it's like a traditional episode. What I felt when I saw this, was a few things. That there was that the Russell T Davies was going at this as an entirely new series, and he was trying something that he was trying to define this series about what it was, what it felt like, and this really wasn't it. But what the point of this episode was to dispel the myth that Doctor Who had low production values, had like wobbly sets, because that was the major obstacle they had to overcome, I think, coming into this, because it had a negative perception that it's something that's cheap and it's badly put together. And so that they really wanted to cram a lot of special effects, a lot of makeup, a lot of and like now, 15 years later, it's 15 years. Yeah, 15 years later, it doesn't look as good as it did then. But
no, of course not.
But I find it kind of charming, and I like the confidence of the episode. And there's a lot I do like about it. I mean, we get to see. This is the very beginnings of the Doctor's arc. We really didn't get to see much about him in the last episode. We'll just basically introduce him. Now we get to see like how damaged he is. So I'm thinking this episode takes place directly after Day of the Doctor, directly after he regenerated. All that stuff that Clive saw is in the Doctor's future. That hasn't happened yet, and so he's really really deeply wounded and suffering post-traumatic stress from destroy. Was it the hand or the moment? Because from his perspective, he thinks he's destroyed. His entire people, everything, and he's been cursed to stay alive afterward. He'd be cursed to be the only survivor. So you have that heaviness, and I do like the little argument he has with Rose. That feels kind of very natural and realistic. But yeah, so I think in this one, they're trying to find a template for what Doctor Who is, and they haven't found it yet. This is saying that this is a story that they really reject, in terms of like finding its feet. I don't really think this era of Doctor Who finds its feet till 2 or 3 weeks from now, when you have the Aliens of London and World War III, or actually more, the Doctor Dances and the Empty Child. It's like it's round there that it starts to define itself. Now it again, because it doesn't stay like this at all.
No, not at all.
Especially if I watch it back to back with Dare the Doctor, because they're bookends of one in giant arc, because it's a circular thing. Because like where Dare the Doctor ends, I think this starts. So and so you get to see like the whole progression, which I think was.
I agree with you on the whole. Since we've seen the Day of the Doctor and all that, we have a different perspective going back and watching this episode, especially when it talks about the Time War, which is really great. I love that last scene between him and Rose in this episode. I think that sums it all up, and I think it has more meaning now, which I do agree with you on that.
Right, and somebody mentioned the Britney Spears toxic thing. I love that. I think I just love the cheekiness, the cheek of it. It's like the bravado of it. I think that really works. But yeah, this is a template for Doctor Who that was discarded. That's really what it. When you see those like sketches for like you see the early designs of like Stormtroopers or Darth Vader, and they're rejected. This is what this is. Doctor Who didn't stay like this, so it's interesting.
I'm less harsh on it anyway. I think I am. I think I am, because I realize what it is. I mean, once you do that, you can,
But again, it's functional to say it's got a major production value. That I kind of succeed.
Yeah.
For me personally, I thought Rolls was a great introduction episode. The second episode, you're right, you can see it. It does improve week after week, and I think Russell T was trying to find his feet with this. You know, you've got to remember one thing as well. The original story arc was supposed to be about the Toclafane because they didn't think they'd actually get the Daleks, right? So remember, he would have having to basically rewrite Series 1 when he found out he could use the Daleks because obviously then the end of the series focuses on the Daleks. The Toclafane was supposed to be the big thing that Christopher Eccleston was supposed to face in the fourth series. So I mean, I like the second one. I like the little spider robots as well. I mean,
they're good.
Is brilliant as well. I mean, even that alien that comes in and spits on Rose. I mean,
I like that.
I give you bodily fluids, and it's like and spits, and there's Christopher Eccleston's Doctor breaking.
And she's so not amused.
Yeah.
Yes. You see her getting more and more pissed off as the day goes on.
But I like that because to me that's realistic because
if
you recall from the classic era, you know, Sarah Jane could kind of get like that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I see the connection to that. So yeah, I that was relatable. So watching it again, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Rose, but I can tolerate with Eccleston, and I really did like that.
Paul Streck, has your opinion of this episode changed since when it first aired back in 2005?
I think it's actually gone up, mainly based on what we've just watched. So you can actually see how, unfortunately, how badly the show has regressed. But yeah, I like what RTD was doing at the time, whereas he wanted to. This was introducing Doctor Who to a new audience. So what he had wanted to do was to give, in the first 3 episodes, sort of give a sample of what the show was about. So obviously it made sense to start it on Earth. And then with episode 2, that one, they purposely wanted to blow the budget and make something that was a spectacle. And I think in terms of tone, it actually reminds me a lot of a Sylvester McCoy episode with a budget. And then obviously in episode 3, they go back.
Here, just want to hear something. You aren't going to believe this. Russell T put a Instagram post up. He's going to be joining the Rose Watch Along now.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
That is amazing.
Yeah. He goes, I blame you, Stephen Moffat. I blame you at Stephen Moffat for everything.
I wonder if he's going to have a little side swipes at the current era as well. That'll be funny.
I think that's absolutely beautiful. I love hearing things like this.
Well, here, this is also what he's had to say. Also, surprise extra material released on the day. Excite and join in. So we're going to get some... See, this is the thing that's going to really... Now,
yeah, exactly. You know, this interaction we used to have.
But if this has anything to do with BBC, though, this one, I can't support it. I'm sorry. And I know some people will say, but no, it's celebrating Doctor. I get it. But if this has BBC all over it, I'm sorry, I'm not going to support it because that's what they want. That's what they want.
Well, you can do your own celebrations.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this because again, Moffat did us proud last night. Yeah. He really. So if Russell T Davies does something similar, I don't think the BBC would even realize, because that makes it hilarious. The BBC plugged it.
Agreed.
He turned around and says, "This is what he says." This Thursday, the 26th of March, 7 p.m. UK time, Rose for its 15th anniversary, available on iPlayer and Netflix. Apparently, you'll have to join Twitter for this. I blame you at Stephen Moffat for everything. Can we swear? Also, surprise extra material released on the day. Exciting. Join in. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Russell. If Russell does similar to what Moffat did, then fair enough. I'm for it. But I'm just a bit skeptical that if BBC get behind this, it's just like, you know.
Well, I hope they don't, because then
Well, I
that will
think
take
BBC are really
take
going
that
to want
away
to get
from us.
behind it, because this is the first time there's been anything successful connected to Doctor Who for 3 years.
What happened yesterday for the Chibs the Idiot and his team was absolute humiliation. They only managed to get Doctor Who trending on Twitter once in the entire season. It was because they destroyed the show. It was not happy Twitter. Whereas how many, I think Starry-Eyed Girl actually sent us.
It was,
there was like 10 Doctor Who related hashtags trending yesterday.
Yeah. And it is fantastic. But then BBC America did something today, and I know we have gone off a little bit topic, but we'll get back to
the stupidest thing ever.
They've come up with their own little, come on, let's have our own little watch along. Let's get you all to watch.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
We've been doing this, Noel, since when? Like, I've been doing this, you've been doing this, we've been doing watch alongs, we've been doing reviews, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just copying.
Of course they are. They're going to make people fools of themselves because we think Series 12 related to Doctor Who Series 12 is going to trend on Twitter like Ballstreck said, like it did last night. No, if it does, it'll be all negativity.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It'll be negativity. Look, if BBC have nothing to do with this, I'm getting behind this Rose thing. I'll promote the hell on this channel. I'll get as many people to watch. I'll get many people to tweet as I possibly bloody can. Because if this is going to be turned into an embarrassment for the BBC, I'm well for it. I'm definitely going to watch the 11th hour one because for me, personally, and a lot of people here on the panel, I think we'd agree.
I love the 11th hour.
I like it much better now. I like I said, I recently reviewed it. I did rewatch, and I've warmed to it. I actually quite enjoyed it last time I watched it.
Well, no, it's kind of weird with you that you kind of don't. It's weird to me that I've came across someone because you don't really meet many people that are not really a huge fan of Matt Smith. So I kind of, when you say that I've warmed, I'm kind of like, oh, it's a brilliant episode. How can you just warm to it? It's brilliant.
I do think that Vincent and the Doctor is one of the best New Who episodes ever made.
Yeah.
So, and that is a Matt Smith episode. So, you know, I'll give kudos. I think he's an excellent actor. I just don't. He's not my favorite Doctor. I'll put it that way. I think he's a great actor, though.
Yeah, it's. I think he's the most unique actor that's ever played the Doctor.
Yes.
But it's the same thing with him and Capaldi. You know, I think for some people they are an acquired taste, and they weren't as universal as, say, Christopher Eccleston or David Tennant. But I like all four of the recent Doctors. You'll notice I said four. So all four, the only four that have existed since the show came back, they were all great. It's too bad the show isn't on anymore, but I think Peter Capaldi was a great way to send it off.
Yeah,
very true. I just think that by the last episode they kind of you know, that was kind of a bad send off, and the fact that William Hartnell was his character, the first Doctor, how it was treated, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, well, I could see that too. Well, no, Twice Upon a Time is terrible, but at least we got to say goodbye to Doctor Who with a good Doctor. And I'm just glad that they never carried through with all that feminism stuff that they were talking about in the episode, because, you know, the show's over now. It's been over for a few years.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Russell T on Twitter. I just can't wait. Please, Russell T. Just do, even if it's set up to a cake, you have to do what Moffat did, but just come out and say something to indicate. Even if it's, you know, under the radar, just give something that the intelligent fans know what you're actually trying to say. Give us that hope that you're the same as Stephen Moffat. You're not.
You know what? If he's doing it, I really think that's going to happen. I really think that's going to happen. Like that, I'm really shocked that Moffat came out like as openly as he did. And if he's doing it, I think he's doing it too.
Do you think, can I ask you a question? I know we've kind of gone off subject a little bit. We will get back when Jason joins us because he's actually watching the episode, so it'll be great to hear his point of view on the episode. But do you think this might be, you know, Chibnall could become under pressure now? If Moffat has come
yes, I'm sure he's under pressure.
Yeah.
Listen, if that whole rumor
last night, right? So would the BBC be like us be aware of what he's up to on Twitter?
Right, and I think this is how we win, Noel. I've been saying that. Like celebrating the great Doctor Who, shucking the rest of it. Yep. And I think that's how we win. I mean, I hear these people like, I'm done with all of it. I'm getting rid of my stuff. No. Celebrate the good.
Yeah.
You know, screw the rest.
Yeah.
No, it's going through it, and
Moffat put up a couple of tweets. Do we remember? Has anybody? I don't know.
Hey, 1 second. I've got the. I got the screen grabs. Let me find.
Both accounts are still up.
Yeah, they are as well. They're both up. Yeah. So if you haven't, do you know what I'll do? I will get these accounts as well, the 2 accounts, and I'll try and put them on my Facebook groups. I think you can share from Twitter to Facebook. The only problem is, I think though you need a Twitter account. It's stupid.
Yeah, what's that? I have the screen grabs. I'm just trying to put them on the
screen.
Right.
Well, when you get it up, I'll share it. Let us know, and I'll share it.
I think that's it. Yeah, you go.
Right. So this is what Moffat said last night.
So the first one. I actually created Ryan Sinclair in the first draft of Dare the Doctor before I realized it should be about the Doctor instead.
Yeah. And you can read into these. The Morbius Doctors are actually incarnations of Stephen Moffat. You know what? You remember when shortly before the disastrous season finale where you had Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, their little interview about canon? I don't think they actually told them what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they did.
Exactly. I think they're pissed off because they got egg all over their face. I think that's what's going on.
I never heard of Russell T. Davies. I love that one. Now he has 2 accounts, by the way. He was very clever. He put one up. There was 2 accounts put up. So this one was the one that was shared by the Radio Times, if I'm correct.
And Big Finish.
And Big Finish. And there was another one that he threw up himself, which he released a video on as well, and that loads of people are following.
I wonder what these numbers mean. Well, I wonder what the 1683878 mean. I bet it means something.
Well, my favorite here is in 2015, I decided I'd written enough for Doctor Who. I took Chris Chibnall to the Blue Box Cafe and silently handed him the TARDIS key and a Scovox Blitzer action figure. He wept a single tear and had me evicted.
Well, if that doesn't just describe Chibnall perfectly, I don't know what would.
That is just brilliant.
I like the next one. I wanted to bring back Captain Jack, but the face of Bo was busy filming I Do Anything.
The numbers could be in reference to Chibnall's ridiculous numbering system.
Who knows? It's a secret thing that if you know it, you know it. But they mean something. I know it means something.
Letters of the alphabet, right? So if they're letters of the alphabet, 1 would be A, 6 would be what? A, B, C, D, E, F. So we'd have A, F,
H.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Write this down, actually, for the laugh. Where's my pen and paper? Because Moffat is a clever man. He doesn't just put stuff down for a reason. Either that numbers there is a little dig at Chris Chibnall about his numbering system with the Doctors.
It's got to be there. There's something to it.
So this is another account, obviously, because the way he spelled his last name.
Yeah.
And first name.
Yeah. And,
yeah.
He has a second account, which is his actual temporary Stephen Moffat account. But he was supposed to delete them. He's actually
where he can actually say what he really thinks.
Yeah,
I think he's pissed, and I think it's because of that interview, because they didn't tell him what they were about to do, and now he looks like an idiot.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
The canon article. Yeah, I did a video on that.
Yeah, look at the pin tweet here. Strax is a timeless child.
Yep.
That would actually make more sense than what Chibnall wrote.
But that little video of Strax has to be one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. That is brilliant. He'd literally taken a dig.
Yeah. There are lots of them.
Stephen Moffat is not happy, right?
No.
To announce Tom Baker's nose is canon.
Oh, I wrote the script with at Stephen Moffat on the other side of a table and two versions of Marcus. Marcus. What the hell?
If it got to the end and we hadn't made Chris Chibnall cry, we would trigger a detonator that would destroy the Doctor Who experience.
Oh, Christ.
And they did destroy the Doctor Who experience.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the Doctor Who experience was a tourist thing in
Cardiff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it got to the end, Chris Chibnall didn't cry, and it triggered the end of the Doctor Who experience.
I was confused when Murray insisted on me signing the Dalek team, but I think it worked. Hashtag save the day.
I have no idea what that means.
No, that's a weird one.
Yeah. Very cryptic.
Where's the tweet? But where's this tweet?
The what one?
Triggered it all off.
Well, what?
Wasn't there a tweet though? There was a specific tweet though, wasn't there?
This is everything I got from that account.
Is that the last tweet on that page there? That one there?
I think so. Here, I think the last one is on the other page. Is over here. Peter Davison is Colin Baker's grandfather.
Oh my God. Where's the other account? Whack the other account up.
I don't have it. It's this is just the stuff I screen grabbed.
I've got it up.
Yeah, right. Okay. Listen, Moffat coming back onto Twitter was one of the greatest things ever. Twitter was buzzing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do we have any idea of the numbers that the Day of the Doctor got on iPlayer? Wouldn't it be great if it got more than
absolutely would get more.
I'm not sure, because the Time of Show's got the overnights. That gave it like 3.5 million.
Yeah, but they won't show it. They won't need to show it anyway, because remember, this was organised by a fan, so they won't show it. You know what I mean?
I'm getting the feeling there is a movement there's a fan movement going on of professional fans of Big Finish, Nick Briggs, Stephen Moffat, I think Russell D. Davis, there was Emily Cook. I think there's a thing going on.
Yeah, you think Stephen Moffat's kind of like the ringleader, but he's using
I think they're all really
wouldn't that be brilliant?
Well,
and they're just undermining him. Yeah.
No, but listen, I'm gonna say, Stephen Moffat, if you're watching any fan channels out there, listen, if you need help with this, I'm willing to help. Trust me.
I would be, yes, definitely willing.
You want with whatever we need to do to make this happen, man. You just, do you know what? I'd love him to text me. I wouldn't know. There's the account. I wouldn't open my mouth. I would, whatever he asked me to do, I would do. Right.
Well, you're already doing that, Noel, by us discussing this episode tonight.
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing that already.
Yeah.
But
you've got a point. We are actually. Well, I suppose.
I just want to say to Master Andrew in the chat. Yeah, it's very possible that this isn't his real account, but that's the point. The point is that he has plausible deniability with this.
Yeah.
And he really does.
Well, that's why there's two accounts. Look, Stephen Moffat is
Look at this tweet from the actual Stephen Moffat account.
Right.
Miss that show, miss the madness and the speed and the vitality of it. He misses it. And I miss you a lot. And then he goes into obviously what's going on right here. But this on his main account speaks volumes.
But that's the one. That's the tweet. But see the way it's worded. It's very clever. It is. He knows
right. If it was for this era, why wouldn't he be promoting a new episode?
Yep.
That is something that I thought about. Why is he's promoting something that he's created, not what Chibnall. So if he was on board with what they were doing, he would be promoting Chibnall.
Listen, guys, this is good news. as Megan said last night, and he's right. This is very, very good news, and it's cleverly worded, right? Because he makes it out that he misses when he was there. He misses the vitality of, but that's not what he's saying. He's actually saying, I miss the vitality of the shop because of what Chris Chibnall has done.
Exactly.
It is
That's exactly what he's saying.
Way of wording this tweet. And you know what? Moff, if this is really you and you really are against this, thank you. You're forgiven. You're forgiven. Seriously.
You are, yeah.
And I think really what proves it is the fact he's not promoting a Chibnall episode. Yeah. Because if he'd been doing that, that would be like totally like I would be like, oh God. But the fact is he's promoting newer Who, but like before this era. He's not promoting Jodie Whittaker, if you notice that. So to me, that says a whole lot. That speaks volumes.
Guys, in the live chat, I see some years. Let's get a Moff camp, a back campaign. Would you actually take Stephen Moffat back? The ICC for me, personally,
100%.
I think he's the only guy right now to actually fix this mess. And that's the ironic thing. I criticised him near the end, but now I think he is the right guy to actually come back and fix this.
I wasn't as harsh as you guys on Moffat. Like I understand why.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when he left, everyone was like, oh, we want change. And I remember going on forums going, you say you want that, but I guarantee in a year, you're going to be like, there's going to be memes throwing out with Stephen Moffat's face saying, you miss me yet? Because that's exactly what people are doing. Exactly what I predicted. Exactly what they are doing. So, yeah, we all miss you.
Well, I'm telling you now, I take him back tomorrow. So if you're listening, Stephen Moffat, if you want this job back, I know you've gotten your breeder now. Maybe that's what you needed. If you want to go back,
and you got the pressure of Sherlock off.
If you
haven't had a success with Dracula,
just get back on that Twitter account and put your cryptic tweets up and let us know how we can get rid of Chibnall and take him down, and we will do it. We will do art at this stage to get rid of that.
Yeah, there is an army of people who would like do whatever it takes at this point.
Listen, BBC are using the thing that's happening now as an excuse not to reply back to my email. If anybody listened to Jason's panel, I actually brought up while we were actually on live, I received an email off the BBC telling me that they wouldn't be replying back to me yet because of the thing that's happening in the world right now. So, but it's not to do with that at all. It's got to do with the fact that they're still inundated with, because there's still people emailing the BBC, and I'd still encourage that as well. Don't give up. Just because Moffat has done it now doesn't mean that, the tide has turned. It has turned in their favour, but we need to keep the pressure up now. Mm-hmm. And let's see if Stephen Moffat, I hope it isn't the last time we've seen him on Twitter. Maybe we might get a couple of cryptic even videos off and something. Because we're clever, so we'll know what he's trying to say to us. And if you are listening, because you've got plenty of time at home, you probably are scanning Doctor Who fan channels. And if you are listening, if there's anything we can do to help, I'm serious. Contact the Tardis on group on a Who and the Rabbi.
Please.
Anybody, please.
I tell you, interest is at a massive high. I put a video out today about it. About the video is called whatever I think. Wait, what did was it Stephen Moffat throw shade at Chris Chibnall? And that was out for like 3-4 hours. It got like 400 views, like much higher than my normal view rate.
Mm.
Much quicker. People are interested in this.
Moffat wasn't always perfect, but he tried to honor canon as best as he could.
And I think a lot of the whole Bill Potts stuff. I think that was foisted on him by the BBC.
Yeah, and
I think he did his best with it as well.
Right,
I think they said, "Listen, we need to," and so he had to do the whole I really think.
And it could have been worse under Chibnall's reign. Who knows what that would have been? It would have been much worse. So, I mean. I think that could be one of the reasons why he left. And I do believe, and me and Jason have arguments about this, but I do believe that's why, Capaldi actually ended up leaving. Or he wanted to leave. If he wasn't pushed out, which I have questions about.
I think probably Moffat and Capaldi were pushed out together.
Yeah, I do agree. I've heard other things. I've heard that he wanted to leave because of how Hartnell was portrayed, but I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? Again, that Hartnell thing, I've seen it recently. It seemed like good-natured ribbing. It didn't seem like, oh, I'm so ashamed. I think it seemed like a joke, you know?
Yeah.
Although, you know what? Taking it back to the episode today, the End of the World, you had a joke in it where today it'll be like a bombshell. When they had Cassandra saying, "Oh yeah, I remember when I was a little boy."
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I thought the same
people
thing.
Be like, "Oh no," but then it was funny.
Yeah, because
it was 2005.
Exactly.
Because I don't think it was meant to be agenda driven. That's the difference.
Exactly,
that's the difference between the RTD era and today. Because when Captain Jack was introduced, RTD did a great job of introducing a kind of a pansexual. Character in a great way that wasn't offensive, that wasn't that wasn't in your face and was trying to promote an agenda. And that's the difference between the RTD era and the Chibnall era.
Well, I am because we know that RTD and Stephen Moffat are good friends in real life. I guarantee they've had discussions over this, but Moffat is the much more aggressive of the two of them. But I am looking forward to seeing what, even if it's very subtle, what RTD might do.
Because I've never seen RTD diss anyone. If he does, it's going to be really warm, funny,
it doesn't seem like he does many interviews at all. So I don't see very many. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places. But I don't see him talk about Doctor Who too much.
Second, I just got a news alert saying this is totally off topic. Star Trek Discovery season 3 may be delayed by the current situation.
Hallelujah.
But it's put out by comicbook.com, which is a chill site for CBS. Comicbook.com is owned by CBS. So this is, I think that's akin to
my champagne?
A public statement. I don't think they got the money to finish post-production.
Well, and I think this COVID thing, is putting a damper on it. Thank God. Yeah. Like, honestly, thank God.
But I think they're using it as a way to get off the Kurtzman train. Because from what I understand, there's the reason Kurtzman's still around is because he refuses to go.
Yep.
He's like saying, "I'll take some arbitration." Yeah, it's crazy.
If they can't abomination. I watched like 5 seconds of it, and I just wanted to shoot myself.
If the CBS stock price falls under $10, that means CBS has to fold. I think at this point.
And
they have to sell off their assets like a fire sale.
That could be good, but bad for them, good for us, maybe, because we won't have to watch their shite anymore.
Right. Apparently, Sherry Redstone? I'm thinking it's bought like $30 million worth of stock to inflate it, to float it until they managed to do the merger with Viacom. But now they can't do that.
Here's the good thing. If they do fold and they have to sell off properties, that gives Seth MacFarlane the opportunity to buy Star Trek.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yep, that would be awesome.
I mean, there's a rumor that there's a Ronald D. Moore bid going on as well for something.
Yeah, I think it's joint between a few people.
But awesome.
If they're in trouble, Star Trek is making no money for them, so Star Trek's going to be first to go. They will. It is still their most valuable franchise, and they won't be able to afford to keep it.
So what's going to be more fun, watching its demise or asking all the directors, well, how could this happen? This was the bestest ever. It was so popular. You told us it was so really popular. How could this possibly have happened?
It's our fault.
Oh, it's our fault. Oh, I get it.
It's just like Doctor Who. It's all our fault.
Yes, my racism.
We don't like it.
Oh yeah, Chris Persia just asked, haven't they already started taking down STD sets at Pinewood in Toronto?
They're gone.
Yeah, the information that I got from actually Rob at Midnight's Edge. They finished filming. It was dragged on for a few months because surprise, they had to do reshoots. But the sets at Pinewood, as far as I know they're done shooting, but I think if they haven't taken down the sets, they're in the process of taking down the sets.
All I can say is Kurtzman's contract must be one of the best contracts in the history of Hollywood. Hats off to him. He knows how to get a good contract signed.
He's like Chibnall. He knows how to wheel and deal, apparently.
Right, yeah, he just doesn't know how to make TV.
Yep.
Oh, I've been told so. I don't. No, I don't. I'm gonna find out if I can tell you something. But
Don't do that. No, you just throw that out there, and then you can't tell us. And then I'm like,
dump it in the chat, Noel.
I'll do. I'll tell you just in the private chat. But
and then we have to be tight-lipped, and then that sucks.
But you have.
Well, you tell us, and we'll tell you in the chat if you should say it.
Yeah. Right.
I can't say this because I haven't been given permission to.
Responding to while you're typing that up, Noel. Responding to Chris Persia. All I can say is if the sets are gone, they kiss season 4 goodbye. The rumors were that they were going to but because Picard and STD are shot, Picard's in California, STD is in Toronto, that they were going to move all production to California, which is stupid because they can't afford to shoot this garbage in California with a failing show. But yeah, I think season 4 is not going to happen. I can tell you that right now.
I doubt season 2 of Picard's going to happen.
It's hard to say.
I have a question. How can anyone watch 5 minutes of Michael Burnham?
I don't know. It's a real question.
I literally watched 30, 45 seconds, and like I was telling my husband, I want to shoot myself now. Like I literally this is the worst acting I've ever seen from an individual other than Jodie Whittaker.
Actually, that's the crossover we want. Worst crossover of all time.
The only interesting person was the guy that plays Captain Pike.
Yeah, Anson Mount.
Right.
And he ain't coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, I know because he's too good, and he's a white cisgender male, and we can't have that. So, but if they ever make a series on him with him, and Kurtzman's not involved, I'm for that. I'm all there.
As long as they recast Imposter Spock.
Yeah, he just he had a beard, but when they take that beard off, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen clips, and I don't know how you guys watch Picard either. I don't know how Jason watches
You know
Picard.
what? It's the second week I haven't done the live stream about it. I was going to see if we can get people together tomorrow. Well, I just don't care. It's so hard to give a crap.
Right.
So boring.
Oh, you haven't seen?
Boring. Well, no, I refuse to watch it. I just feel like that's not. Well, I'm one of these weird people that Star Trek just starts and ends with Captain Kirk and William Shatner, and I'm really like one of those weird people that just I couldn't get into Generations at all. So I'm more like the old school 1960s Star Trek, the 80s movie Star Trek fan. So
yeah. Well, it's Rabbi. If you haven't seen the last episode,
I have. Yeah. Today.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So summarize. Picard goes full SJW. There. That's all you need to know.
Right.
Oh no, it doubles down this episode.
Oh, does it?
Oh.
Well, and that's why Jason was like, "Oh God, I watched these episodes for nothing."
Right, I'm telling you, it's like this. It's just disinterest. I was going to try and get it together tomorrow, but I really want to do a Breaking Bad stream instead. I think that'd be much more fun.
Oh, when are you doing that? When can I get involved in that?
When we say that, everybody's excited. Okay, shall we do it tomorrow?
What episode did you watch?
We'll start with the first episode, the pilot.
Oh.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I love Breaking Bad. I'm a huge fan.
Fine, let's do it. I think there's I reckon there's a real big demand for that. I think people will enjoy that.
That is the most brilliant. I've never seen a show where every episode was just brilliant. Like it was perfect in every way.
They ended it at the right time. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed with the season of Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I lost interest. Yeah.
Well, this season, the first 3 episodes were fantastic. You were like really on the edge of your seat. It was like you had that real Breaking Bad feel, and then they moved focus to different characters for the next 3 episodes. I'm like,
I liked the first couple of seasons. I thought they were really stellar. And at some point, I even questioned if this is better than Breaking Bad. And then, like, I think season 3 just kind of.
It's not. It's not. You say it's nothing.
No. But I think I had gotten away from Breaking Bad for so long. I did watch El Camino. I did like that movie. A lot of people don't, but
I like that too. I mean,
I loved it. My son hated it, but he's a Gen Xer. So no, not Gen Xer. He's a millennial,
Oh,
Gen Xer.
Yeah.
So, what does he know?
What?
Well, my view on Breaking Bad is always my favorite shows are classic Doctor Who and classic Star Trek, but Breaking Bad is the best show ever made.
I swear to God, it really is. I mean, it truly, like, I don't think that anything could. Vince Gilligan, is that his name?
Yeah.
Man, that guy should make more shows. Like, they should really. He should be in charge of more shows because he knows what he's doing.
I mean, well, you see what a great show it is, because the minute we mention it, we were like, yeah, all right, yeah, and we're talking about Picard. We're like, oh god, who cares?
Right. You see the excitement in my voice when I'm talking about Breaking Bad. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, and it seems like, I mean, like, spoilers. Has everybody in here seen Picard? Can we talk about it or not?
I don't care. You can spoil the whole thing for me. I don't care.
The latest episode yet?
Of Picard?
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it yet because we haven't done the review. Because
like they are so setting it up to have him appear in Discovery in the 32nd century. They're so setting that up right now.
Well, aren't the two of them supposed to connect? That was the rumor, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're showing you how it's gonna happen. I think he's probably gonna have quite a strong cameo in Discovery.
Well, is he going to? Is he actually going to be on a star? You're telling me they're actually going to put him on a starship now?
No, they're probably going to find him on some chateau, and he'll be like, he'll probably be in his he'll walk to his pool and he'll do a few scenes. And
what's the point of a Star Trek type series if you're not going to put him on a freaking ship?
They worked so hard to keep him off a starship. Like, instead of having on a starship, he's on a holographic vineyard instead. He goes to a hologram of a vineyard to hang out with people.
Right, I know he's hobbling around at this point because he's old. I mean, come on. The point is that here's this captain. You want to see him on a ship?
Yeah, no, you don't see any ship.
It's a soap opera.
This is the only thing I've learned from this season: that if you take somebody and you paint them gold, they get a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I've really picked up from the season.
Yep. Yeah, that's one reason why I never didn't interested. Like, is he on a ship? No. Okay, no, then I'm out.
And the ship in it doesn't look like a Star Trek ship, and it's boring. What happened to the thing in the private chat? You were going to put something there.
Yeah.
It's great. I might be able to tell everybody.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, okay.
But let's just say the tide is definitely turning if this information is true. Right.
The tide is definitely turning.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had this hope in a long time.
Chibs and friends are drowned by the tide.
Right. Well, Chibs and friends are right now. How do I word this? Okay, let's say there's a bit of a power struggle going on apparently, and RTD and let's say Moffat have teamed up together, and let's just say one of those hypothetically went to Piers Wenger to basically say how angry and devastated they are about what happened with the timeless children. Now, let's say hypothetically, right? And to say hypothetically, then RTD and Moffat are doing what they're doing right now as part of their little, plan.
Do you think this is to demonstrate the enduring popularity of Doctor Who, even beyond the... they can't just say it's just the trend. It's just at its time. They said, "Really? Let's put on Dare the Doctor and see how excited people get."
Yeah,
let's put on Rogue.
Right.
Let's just say that all these little things are happening that was suggested earlier on this panel, are actually happening for a reason. And let's just say that there's people not happy with Piers Wenger and they want Piers Wenger to act. But right now, you know, Chibnall is still fairly powerful.
Well, he's very powerful. They had that whole ultimatum where they said either back me or sack me, and they had nobody to replace him, and he got himself in an incredibly powerful position because they backed him, and then it's turned to crap, hasn't it? This is what they must have backed him over.
Let's just say hypothetically that the two former showrunners have hypothetically have said enough is enough and actually want to not only say remove this regime, but to hypothetically take over themselves.
Yes, and you know what? You know what I want them to do? They should air that special that they made that's in the can, the Dalek one over Easter. Have a regenerate, and then come back with a brand new Doctor Who Christmas Day with Moffat and Chibnall, Moffat and RTD.
Moffat and RTD co-showrunners.
Oh my God! I don't know if I could. My heart can take
it. Work it out.
Now, as I said, hypothetically, rumors.
Hypothetical, yes. So
which way you want to take it, but so I've sent in the private chat. I've just sent you guys just exactly what was supposed to happen. But obviously, we have to say hypothetically.
Yeah. So did you hear that BBC before you take it on the stream? Hypothetical.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Every Whovian fantasy, right there.
Right.
Yeah. So if this movement, if this is a movement that's happening and has been organized, let's say hypothetically, as we said, then the tide is definitely turned on.
They can't keep ignoring the fact that the most popular, basically the most popular streaming service, BritBox, right? During Christmas, when that was it around Christmas time when you guys got it in the UK, the numbers, they can't keep ignoring the fact that people want great Doctor Who.
Right, exactly.
I mean, and this is my point, and it's been always, you need to support the good Doctor Who and don't support the bad. And they will they can't stop ignoring it. They can't keep doing that. There's no way. At some point or another, something's got to give.
Yep.
Well, this is what I propose now, right? I don't know if you will agree with me, but this is what I propose. We're the fans, so we've also got to say in this, right? So let's say hypothetically that this situation is a real situation, right? We're the fans, so we can make this happen. So I say we get behind a campaign that asks for either Stephen Moffat or both Stephen Moffat and RTD to be reinstated as showrunners of Doctor Who. Now, if the two of them decide not to do it together and one of them decides to step up, it's at least we get one out of the two. But I think we should get behind some sort of campaign. Now, this is our best chance now.
Mm-hmm.
This is really our best chance now. So, look, we've all done very well. Everybody that has sent an email, I've even said a well done to every single person that has continued to email and to bombard the BBC.
Yeah, that whole socially awkward thing about mental health, that really hurt them. Yeah, that really hurt them.
Yeah, it actually that was and they were seem oblivious. They still didn't apologize for it.
Right.
So I think we should get behind a campaign, some sort of campaign. Now, this channel is obviously too small to start a campaign like that. But if Ballstreck or any of the other bigger YouTubers, if you think it's something worth getting behind, I'm just putting the suggestion out there. I would gladly, and all of us here, I would get behind it. But I think we should do something like that. I think this is our one chance now. The Moffat came out, RTD as well is going to be on Twitter. He's going to do it. So this is our chance. And I don't be surprised if Moffat turns up for the 11th hour as well. Turns up on Twitter.
Yeah,
absolutely he will. Yeah, absolutely. That's his debut as a showrunner for Doctor Who. Yeah.
So why not, right? Up until he reappears on Twitter, because I know he will. Why not? Let's get this campaign together and show him, and then when he's on Twitter, he can see what's happening.
I think there's more of a chance for Moffat to come back than RTD, though.
Yeah, I can see them coming back together.
That would be awesome.
And doing a David Tennant season.
I don't mind what they do.
I can see David Tennant coming back to save Doctor Who.
Do you know what?
I would be totally fine with that.
Look, I don't care if the two of them come back and they decide between the two of them. One will write for the main show, and the other one will do a spin-off. Right? Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe RTD will come back and do, say, Torchwood, and Moffat will come back and do Doctor Who.
Okay.
We're running parallel.
I honestly, I like Torchwood, don't get me wrong, but come on, we need the Paul McGann spin-off.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
I know.
That's what we need. Oh my God, that I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if my heart could take it.
But out of the two of them,
I'm just saying.
I want to ask you, Blue Bonnet, out of the two of them, who would you rather write the Paul McGann spin-off, RTD or Stephen Moffat?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I think Moffat, because he did such a good with the little webisode.
Yeah, he's shown that he can write McGann's character.
And I would watch that twice on Mondays.
If they do pull McGann, I really want them to give Nick Briggs an episode. Nick Briggs he knows how to write that Doctor. He knows how to write.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he should be co-showrunner if they did.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Have like Moffat and RTD as executive producers, and Nick Briggs as the showrunner. But he has to feed everything through both of them. It'll be incredible. It'll be absolutely incredible. This is my
nerd girl fantasies right here.
Yeah, well, you know what? Because that's what we need.
Yes.
I never thought I'd be sitting here on a live stream and actually saying to all my subscribers, after how they all know how I feel about Stephen Moffat, that I'd actually back in the campaign.
I said this when people were griping about Moffat. I said, if he leaves and Chibnall comes on, Chibnall's going to ruin this thing, and you all are going to say you're missing me. So now you're saying it.
Yeah.
I'll hold my hand up, and you know what? I will. I'll hold my hand up to be slapped. You know what I mean? I still don't like certain elements of what he done, but here's the difference between him and Chris Chibnall. Moffat came in and he knew how far he could kind of go. Yes,
exactly.
But he never went across the line as such. But he did go to a certain point where he would rile the fans a little bit. But he knew then he'd always back down. He'd always he wouldn't go through with it. There was always a clever little way out, or not always, but that was Moffat. It was just his writing got a bit stale over the last few years. He's had a break.
I agree. It did.
He could come back. I still don't like his Clara storyline. I think that he dragged the River Song thing out for way too long.
Yeah, he's too interested in writing romantic comedies. Really?
Right, and I agree, Rabbi. I think when he brought in Danny Pink with Clara, I think that kind of it ruined the character. In my opinion.
I was about to say that I'm listening to the Big Finish that just put out a 12th Doctor Adventures set with Jake Dubman doing narrating it, so doing the 12th Doctor. Well, they got one episode with Danny Pink in it, where the guy played him. He's really good in that. It's
exactly, because
I was like, oh,
they probably wrote him better. I didn't like how Stephen Moffat presented him. He kind of presented him as a jerk. And that's what I had a problem. Yeah, and the way he treated the Doctor kind of rubbed off on Clara, and I kind of didn't like that. And I think he realized that, and I think that's why he killed him off. But I think he did a disservice to the character. I mean, I'd be very interested in hearing that Big Finish. Actually, that'd be interesting. What was the name of it?
It's the 12th Doctor Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, Capaldi's not voicing it.
No, but again, they have Jake Dubman, Jake Dubman did the 10th Doctor and 11th Doctor perfectly. You cannot tell it's not Matt Smith and not David Tennant. This one you can tell it's not Capaldi, but it's still his performance is very good. See, what I would really like him to do is to work out if he can do a young John Hurt voice, which I think he probably could do, and then have him headline a young War Doctor series.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
I wouldn't. I don't know. The War nah, John Hurt's the no. I don't want these guys. I see. I already have a problem when they do the Force Doctor, and I know David Bradley was great, but for me, they should never have brought the Force
But
Doctor back in
I
the
don't
fold.
know if you've heard Fraser Hines do
he's
the second Doctor, but he's brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
so it sometimes it works.
And also, was it John Culture doing the Brigadier? Perfect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And
So
I've heard
nails
the new third Doctor guy. I've heard that. I definitely. I'm thinking about saving my pennies for that one.
Well, get in contact with me. Maybe I could send it.
Okay. Oh, great. That's even better.
I love it. What's his name again? I love it.
I don't know, but I think Dan Hadley had posted it on Type 40.
Trelaw, that's his name.
Yeah.
And they get the essence of this. See, that's what Big Finish does. They get the essence of the era when they recreate the era. You know, like they recently did like a Fifth Doctor series. They just get that essence of that era so right.
And I think Big Finish does the Colin Baker and Peter Davidson much better.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Well, okay. So what are we hopeful for?
What's wrong? Sorry.
Yeah. What do we hope for? Did you see the Doctor Who TV.com's poll came out?
Yeah, I saw that.
Homeless children where they lost. Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like 60%.
Right.
Yeah.
60, again.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, I definitely voted in that. That was.
Yeah, me too.
Let me
see. So wait, that was the end of the world. We're still on.
Yeah, we're still talking about that.
Yeah, we're still way off there.
Yeah, for like an hour.
Right, let's we did mostly the good. I know we kind of veered off a little bit, but let's talk about the things that we didn't like so much in this episode. Was there anything that you didn't like in this episode? See, I'm trying to think now.
Really?
Oh, I hated the Britney Spears inclusion back then.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. That's one of the things I really enjoyed.
I actually like that part, to be honest with you, because I have to admit I was a huge Britney Spears fan. Sorry to Shane, sorry, Ballstreck, for letting you know.
I'm a music snob, so I have to agree with Ballstreck on that one. I'm extremely a music snob, and I'm not a Britney Spears fan, but Tainted Love is not I'm not a fan of that song either.
No.
I could have used some, I don't know, something else. But yeah, anything. I just thought that was kind of. I thought that was cheesy. Video. Yeah, I think it just come across as very cheesy to me, and that was probably what it was.
Like, contemporary it was, because it was really like it was just so of the time, and See that's what I was really enjoying about this era of Doctor Who. It's just very, very much upside. If you ever read 2000 AD, they had a strip in it called Zenith, which was the first superhero strip they ever did. And it's a science fiction anthology. It comes out each week. So they did a strip called Zenith. It was in the late 80s. And they set it so much in the late 80s. If you read it now, it's not dated. It's just like it really puts you in that era. So that's why I liked about Russell. Especially this first season. It's taking Doctor Who, which was something that was very, very staid and dated. Yeah,
well, I laughed, so I guess that was the point of it. It was the fact that she introduced it as a classic, like Tainted Love. She introduced that as a classic.
Yeah,
like the classical music, which was, I guess, kind of funny in itself. But yeah, as a music snob, it hurt my ears. But other than that,
and the BBC have all the rights to play these songs, because they have this show on called Top of the Pops, where they get everybody to perform these songs live, and when they perform them live, they get to keep the version of them. They own the copyright on them, so they have all these contemporary songs they can use.
Right. I think there was a Matt Smith episode, which I was excited because I'm a huge fan of the band The Cult. I think it was Firewoman that he played or something like that.
Right.
I thought that was cool. That I liked, but
Yeah, songs in this, right, is again RTD knew where to kind of put them in a scene. Like, I mean, if you look at Rosa, for example, I mean, when she's getting off the bus, that terrible pop song, you know what I mean? That's the wrong time to put a pop song in. At least with RTD, yeah, okay, Britney Spears is a bit cringe now, even me looking back now, but, you know, at the
But
time,
it was tongue-in-cheek.
It was kind of funny within the scene because she was wanted to say it was an iPod, but it was actually a jukebox.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it was used for humor, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, the pacing I think is a little weak. Oh yeah, you know what was disturbing in it? The resolution where the Doctor lets Cassandra die. That's something that the Doctor at the end of the season wouldn't have done. You know, I think that really sets up where he is at the beginning of the season.
Right.
He's still kind of
shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Still suffering. Yeah, he's still,
right. And I think by the end of the season, when he has like the opportunity to blow up whatever that super weapon is and kill everyone, he decides not to. Yeah, that's his like redemption.
The Delta wave, wasn't it? The Delta wave or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he says,
but
"No,
I mean,
chicken every time."
I understood that though, like in this episode, because like you said, where he was at. I mean, it was fresh off the Time War, so yeah, that would make more sense. He just had no tolerance, no second chances, type of things.
Right. I mean, I think that's why he had the argument with Rose as well. His nerves is just this is the Doctor who's like just been completely free.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Doctor who's had to like stay home with his kids for 2 months.
Exactly. He's out of his mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like the woman in that video you shared on the other channel.
Oh, it's so funny. I love that.
Yeah.
Video.
Oh my God. I've never laughed so hard in my life. I can relate with her. Although my son is 20 something now, but I remember those days.
Yes. Yes, I remember. I'm glad they're gone.
I'm glad he's grown.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being grandkids where I can hand them back.
Right. Feed him sugar and...
There you go.
But by the way, already though, in the first 2 episodes, right? Bad Wolf is mentioned very subtly.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that.
So remember, also while we're reviewing these episodes, we've got to remember that RTD was very clever with certain words. Even in the episode Dalek, you will hear the helicopter when it comes down. It's
Bad Wolf 1 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just shows how he planned everything ahead. And that impressed me more this time watching it because I see all the connections. Something that Chibnall cannot do.
Oh, God, he's so bad at it. He's so bad at it.
God. I mean, especially in the last episode. Just they're so...
But here's the question. Did anybody ever really envision Chris Chibnall being this bad? I know he's Doctor Who episode.
No, I had no idea he would be bad.
I knew he was going to be bad,
but
not this.
Like the DeLorean episode, the double bill, they weren't the greatest episodes, but they weren't dire, right? A dinosaur in a spaceship, obviously crap. And what was the other one? Power of 3, wasn't it? The one
at 42.
Yeah, Power of 3, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Oh, that's an awful episode.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be on the level of Moffat, but I didn't know it was this bad. But my indicators were when you compare Chibs to Moffat, when Moffat had taken over the show, he had written. If you look at the top 10 episodes of Doctor Who up to that point, or New Who, half of them at least would have been Moffat. Chibs his episodes were amongst the worst, but you also had to because season 3 of Broadchurch, I think it was after he was announced.
Series 3 was awful.
Before series 10 had aired. Yes, as soon as I saw season 3, which I stopped after I think the 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah,
the messaging in that. The messaging in that, you could tell where it was going. So as soon as I saw that, I knew things were going to be bad.
I had no idea where it's going. I stopped after the first episode of the 2nd season of Broadchurch.
The 3rd is, at least from what I watched, was much, much worse.
Well,
I'm scared to ask. Where'd they go with it?
The whole thing was based off of a sexual assault.
Yeah.
And it was literally toxic masculinity on display. It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was completely terrible. And especially from the woman that it actually happened to. That was just completely a woke display. And once that aired and I watched all of that, like before, like I have to admit, guys, I was on there going, look, I'm not worried. Chibnall, like, he's written some good stuff. It might be fine. I'm more worried about Jodie Whittaker. And like now, but once I watched all of series 3 of Broadchurch, I was balls struck. I was like, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea. But this seems my worst case scenario.
Broadchurch series 3 is all over the place. There's an episode in where there is one good episode in it where you think the father of the boy is finally going to kill himself, commit suicide. It would have been, you see him at the end of the episode getting out of the boat into the water, and you think he's going to commit suicide, even though it's sad. You're thinking it is kind of his fault, like, so he's taking responsibility for it. But what does Chris Chibnall do in the next episode? Chickens out, like, your man is dragged out of the water, like it. Just stupid little things, and then Jodie Whittaker as a character all of a sudden has become a counselor, and yes, she's still unstable.
But she is the most unsympathetic person to her husband that I've ever seen in my life. So she had no place to be a counselor, and that actually angered me more than the whole like he chickened out about the suicide. Actually, if you'd have committed suicide, it would have showed what a gigantic bitch her character was.
Yep.
That's the only thing that would have kind of saved it for me. Not that I wanted the character to die, because I actually liked the character. I thought, he was actually cared that his son was gone more than she did.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you want to see cringy Jodie Whittaker performances, I saw there's a music video for the Centurions movie that she was in. That is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
What's it called?
Just do Centurions music video. It's terrible. Oh my god, it's just agony to watch. I actually feel embarrassed for her.
Let's see, I'll just do Jodie.
Well, it's not as cringy as
how do you spell Centurions?
ST, new word, TRI.
Oh, Centurions. Okay, so. We're in trouble.
That's the one. That's it. She comes in about 30 seconds into it. You don't really recognize her at first because her hair's darker.
Oh yeah,
so bad.
She is originally a dark-haired woman. She's dyed her hair blonde. I think originally she has
I think she looks better with brown hair.
I can't understand why she didn't stay. But again, that would our acting's terrible. I don't care what color.
Yeah, who cares?
Our costume's terrible. She had a hand in designing it as well, so you can tell.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
She looks like an overgrown toddler.
Yeah, and that's being nice.
She should have worn that costume she wore for her birthday in that picture that Mandy Gill put out.
There was a
costume.
There was a show in
the one where Tolson Cole is checking her out.
Oh, the little like she's a princess thing.
Yeah, and
that's the one.
Cole's checking her out. Yeah.
There's something.
I just think there's something else in his eyeline. I just think she just lacks any sex appeal whatsoever. I can't imagine anybody ever checking her out.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. That is what the God.
Has he broke your balls, Jack?
I'll be back.
Oh no. Oh, he's actually got off a bit of a scream. Gary did the same as well last night, didn't he? He just went off a bit. Yeah, that's what happened. See, this is what Chris Chibnall has done to people.
You can only take so much, you know. You can only take so much.
Yeah, but I refuse to let little weasel get to me. I'm not going to let him destroy my love for good Doctor Who. So screw him.
Let's hope. As I said, I actually put up on Twitter there. Let's start the campaign of getting RTD or I'll start to bring back Stephen Moffat campaign. And already I have people saying, no,
Yeah, I mean, you're going to always get that, Noel. I mean, I get people on my forum, talking about how we need to just quit watching it all. I just don't agree with that. It's so old. It's like, just get over yourself, It's like, I hate that crap. It just gets on my nerves.
I know this person that said it, but all I'm just going to say
can I guess an initial? I probably know who it is. He's probably doing it on my forum.
Go on.
S and G.
I'll tell you what to do. Tell me in the private chat who you think it is. I'll tell you who it is.
I could be wrong, but listen, I don't have a problem with the guy, but he's just so argumentative with me. It's the point where he calls me. He basically doesn't call me an idiot, but he kind of talks about people that have reviewed Series 12 as we're all idiots.
All right. No, this person is actually on our side. He's just
well, no, he is. He's on our side.
All right. He just thinks that we should get someone instead of Moffat, which I can understand to a certain point of view. But listen, I mean, as I said, for me personally, he's the only one that can fix this mess. I said it actually last week, which is weird. I said this last week that he's the only one that can fix this mess, in my opinion, and he is. He is. He's the only one that can fix it.
I have been saying that a while because, look, I know he's not perfect. I know he goes on tangents in his episodes, but he knows how to connect canon definitely better than Chibnall.
Well, he knows how to write. He's a writer.
Right.
He's written things that have worked before. He's had more successes than failures.
Is Ballstrick alright?
Well, and Stephen Moffat's a huge fan too. I think he has more respect for the canon. I know in that interview, but I don't know. I think he's just trying to play the game.
That person that you were talking about, Blue Bonnet, also had a bit of a. I sent you a message anyway, but don't say anything.
Yeah,
you know who we're talking about.
I know.
But yeah. It's getting ridiculous. You can't even, do fun things, and you're being told.
Look, my thing is like,
funny personality.
Yeah, and the bigger you get, the more little commentary you get about how you should be doing and how you should run your channel and whatever.
Yeah. I've already been told that I'm a crap host. I found a thread about me. Is Noel the Tardis now a good host? And I was reading the comments, and yeah.
You're a great host. What are you talking about?
People don't think I'm a good host, but I don't claim to be a host. I just do panels and I just let it fall the way it falls.
The quality of whatever it is you're doing has nothing to do with you being attacked or not. You remember that Dr. Woke strip I did? With the Jodie Whittaker spoof one?
Yeah.
So I had people online saying, "Oh, the art was terrible." I can see the artwork was good on that. Leave me alone. What the hell?
No, the artwork was good on it. I think
right, but people will just complain to complain. People just want to make a point.
Yeah, that's a whole comic book, though, isn't it?
No, it's just a one-page one.
Ah, man. Oh, yeah, that we told you. Yeah, you have to do that comic, man. I told you it's now. You've got plenty to do now, Rabbi. You've no excuse.
No, I know. I'm building my channel. Just got 600 subs. Now I'm building this website which we've been talking about.
Oh yeah,
that's going on.
Come on. Are we announcing it tonight?
No, it's not ready yet.
Right.
But I got my whole life being. I'm busier now than I was before the virus. Not that we should say that word. Before the situation.
Yeah. I can believe that. I still have to go to work, so.
No, I find getting out of routine is much harder to be productive. Like today was my most productive day I've had so far since the whole thing started.
Honestly, I need to be quarantined. I really do because it's really
it's not so bad, let me tell you.
And I'm so stressed that please quarantine me. Please make me stay home.
I don't know, my wife was hardly going out. Yesterday was really weird. Saturday was weird because we don't, if you're religious Jewish, You don't use the internet or electricity or watch TV like on the Sabbath. So from Friday night so that was weird because like now we had nothing to do and we can't go out. Like normally you go to synagogue and stuff, but like you couldn't do that.
Right, so you just had to like just basically study.
No, I sat around and read comic books. We played the game. We were going to play Monopoly, but we nap a lot. You know, that's really
that's a good thing.
You go to bed early, you wake up late.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nick Briggs can help us fix this because we don't know where Nick Briggs actually stands on this. But if Moffat,
I want to say Nick Briggs is not part of the resistance,
are hypothetically are rumored to be angered, then I'd say he'd probably be in the same boat as them, but can't obviously officially come out because he's still doing Big Finish, whereas RTD and Moffat are not actually. Are they doing that? Are they doing that? It's Dracula BBC though, is it?
I heard they're doing a series too.
Oh, well, then you don't give a crap.
I've heard that.
I mean, honestly, I like the first one because I like Dracula. I mean, and I like how much he understood Dracula.
I didn't like the last episode though.
I heard
the last episode was really a riff on Dracula 1973. You have three different types of Dracula movies. You got like the traditional in Transylvania one. You got the what's that? Oh,
that's Jodie Whittaker.
Jesus Christ!
Man.
Oh, hold on. Is that the girl? Oh, hang on. Is that the girl that was in that episode with River Song? The one that had the face? Do you remember?
It looks like her. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Tallulah Riley is her name.
Is that her?
You're talking about Silence in the Library.
Yeah.
But the name of the actress is Tallulah Riley. She's dating. Was it Elon Musk or is married to Elon Musk? One of the two.
Oh Jesus! Look at that video. Balls check.
But play it. Yeah, watch her trying to like move. It's weird.
Yeah, there's no sound. I'll play the one.
Right, come on. You can play it if there's no sound. Yeah.
Bring it back.
Well, turn the sound. Yeah.
I know who she is. Anyway. No,
this is the most low budget video I've ever seen in my life. This is up there with that Friday video that one chick did.
Oh my God!
Thank you for that.
No,
I was meaning.
Sorry about that.
I would like to say sorry to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, but hang on. Why did you have to infect us with that? That's bad. That's cruel. There is, man.
Blame Rabbi. He's the one that brought it up.
The virus, for God's sake.
Actually, that's the most attractive I've ever seen her look, to be honest.
No, she's not a bad looking woman. I'm not going to sit here and say she's not a bad looking woman. I just don't like her attitude. It stinks. And she's just not a good actress. So, like, looks only get you so far in life, and unfortunately, she doesn't have the talent. So,
well, these days, that's what they choose people for: their looks and the color of their skin, their gender. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. Rabbi will be back in a minute. He just has stepped away. Sorry, I was just reading the message there he sent me. Let me see. Moffat started this train wreck. Well, technically yes and technically no. I mean, it was in his era. It all started off for me and the Doctor's wife. It didn't actually start. Moffat didn't actually create that whole thread. That was what's his name? Fucking fella that writes Neil Gaiman. That was Neil Gaiman. That wasn't Moffat. So he was responsible for bringing in Missy, but this all started with the Doctor's wife with that whole line with the concert being a woman at one time. That whole line opened up this whole debate. So that's where I'd say it started. Personally, for me, that's where it started. Actually, that question was asked last night on a panel, and that's what I was going to say. Where did you first notice it? That's where I first noticed it. The Doctor's wife. I've always said that from the beginning, and that's where it started for me. And obviously, Ghostbusters 2016 then confirmed that we were actually heading for a complete shit show. But yeah, so technically, no. Now, this wasn't Moffat. He did bring in Missy, even though I don't think, for me personally, she was the master. Michelle Gomez, terrific actress, and the character that she played, I don't recognize as the master or Missy, but as a different character, yes, it was fantastic. But that's the one thing I have. I think the master and the doctor should stay male. That's just a personal preference. I know some people on this panel don't mind if the master is a woman, if it's a great actress. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mind Missy, but I can understand why people don't.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I'm traditionalist, so I'd rather both stay. But I haven't got a problem with Michelle Gomez. She's a brilliant actress, and she's brilliant in it. And I did like the redemption story arc. It's just a pity that Chris Chibnall couldn't,
Forgot about it?
Yeah, he just shit all over it now. And we don't even know where the Sasha's match. See, this is the thing. There's so many things. Look, we just need to get this man out. So Stephen Moffat is back on Twitter soon. Let's show him love and appreciation when he comes on, like everybody did last night. But let's all get on the bandwagon now and try get this man back into this job. And I know some people out there like me, I do have me problems with him, but he's had a break. And you know what? Maybe he's the only one that I can think of off the top. Bolstrek, actually, and Blue Bonnet. Just to ask you guys, is there anybody else besides Stephen Moffat that you think could come in and fix this mess?
Neil Gaiman. That's the only one I can think of right now. You need somebody who's familiar with the show and somebody who's already proven themselves. And it has to be somebody British.
Right. Neil Gaiman. Blue Bonnet? Oh.
Hello. Okay,
still...
I just ran back in because I wanted to answer. What was the question again? What are we talking about?
The question was...
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Oh, there's Blue
Whitehouse.
Sorry, my mic was off for whatever reason.
Oh, no, you're all right. I was just
Neil Gaiman. I think he'd be perfect. Neil Gaiman or my fantasy, which will never happen, be Peter Jackson.
I can see Peter Jackson like directing an episode. I can't see him being showrunner. What was it? Toby Whitehouse would be able to do it. Toby, he's done a bunch of good episodes. God Complex, but he's done better. He played the German soldier opposite Mark Gatiss's was it Brigadier father
in Twice Upon a Time.
Right. But was it? Yeah, Toby Whitehouse. He was the showrunner on Being Human, which was a really good series. So I really think he's the one. He's a natural choice.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to do it.
Welcome, Jason.
Hey, greetings all.
So you've just finished the episode, or obviously, we might as well get back to what this stream was supposed to be.
It's okay, Jason. You missed the horror show I threw on everybody about 5 minutes ago.
What was that?
So I'm not talking.
It was a Jodie Whittaker horrible video.
Yeah, we did some without sound viewing, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it must have been much more enjoyable with sound for sure. I would.
Yeah,
imagine.
but we're not talking to Bolstrek right now. We're just going to leave him in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you can put that video back up so I can appreciate.
No.
Give me a sec.
Curse you.
You evil man. You evil, evil man. You toxic, evil man.
I want a divorce.
Bolstrek, don't. Come on, you can't do it to us again, man.
She dances in it, sort of.
I want to dance. What's the song even like? Is it a good song?
If Jodie Whittaker's in the video, do you think it's going to be a good song?
Hold on. I've got the power to either put this on or off the screen.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh God!
There you go.
I'm not so we'll go back to the dancing sequence.
Just like the rest of us.
Oh, we can't get audio with this.
No, I've got the audio off because I don't.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay, so imagine Toxic. Directing this Toxic done really, really cheaply by people with far less talent.
Wow.
That's what the song is like. Oh dear, we're in trouble. That sort of thing.
This is top-notch entertainment for sure.
Oh God, it's so
Chris
bad.
in the chat just said
Not
no.
since Friday.
It's horrible. The singing is atrocious. Or I'm glad I've never watched those movies. I know they did a sequel to that godforsaken movie. I don't know how it got a sequel, but there you go. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks for that again, Paul Streck. You're very
welcome.
kind. The subject does to this horrible
Yeah.
virus.
I am
that Jodie Whittaker's dancing.
I'll never be the same.
Nope.
Right, that's it. Done. I'm done.
Okay. Yep.
I'm done. I'm only messing. Right, Jason. Obviously, you've watched the episode. Can I ask you first? Was this was your first time watching the episode? Was it?
Watching this one, yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So, what are your overall thoughts of the episode? And we'll catch up and then we'll break it down. We'll get into the details. But what did you think overall?
The only episode I've seen with Eccleston, a full episode, was
Dalek?
Yeah, Dalek. Was Dalek. So that's the only frame of reference I have to compare it to. And in this particular instance, I have to say I like Dalek quite a bit better. I mean, it's not a bad episode, but you know, and the highlight in terms of comic relief that I thought was funny was Cassandra O'Brien's. You know, they wheel out the Wurlitzer jukebox and she calls it an iPod. I had to really. I thought that was entertaining. But you know, the episode wasn't bad. I mean, it's just would it be one that I would pick? Would it be one that I would put in my must-watch list? No, but it's certainly head and shoulders better than, you know, the shit that language that we have been reviewing for the past. And I have to say, this does mark the first Doctor Who episode panel discussion that I've had that does not involve Jodie Whittaker, fortunately. So,
you weren't here for 90% of it.
Well, maybe that's a good thing. But overall, though, I thought the episode was entertaining. Like I said, I did like Dalek better. I don't know how Dalek fares in the grand scheme of his tenure, Eccleston's tenure, but
Dalek's a good episode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dalek is a highlight, but next week's episode is actually a pretty
It's a strong one as well.
One of my favorites.
Jason, I would say this is not one on a top 10 list, but this is the one that you would revisit during a global pandemic when nobody can leave their house for months on end.
Well, the name certainly is appropriate for for this panel discussion.
There's no Jodie episode that meets that benchmark.
Nope. No.
I can't imagine how bad it's going to get. Like the people like before I go, you know, I could fancy a bit of Time as Child.
Honestly, everything I've seen there's nothing that I've seen in season 12 that would even come close to what I just watched. So that's definitely it's definitely, you know, head and shoulders, like I said, above anything.
Right.
Jodie Whittaker's catalog.
I just got the feeling this is a very Russell T Davies finding his feet with Doctor Who, trying to work out what it was, and he hadn't quite worked it out yet.
I did think the idea behind it was interesting. I mean, I think the story behind it was certainly, you know, I mean, it was engaging enough. I think I'd give the story I'd give it an 8.5. I mean, the story was entertaining. As far as the cast of characters in the show, you know, some of the cast of characters, and I mean in terms of the aliens, it just no, it wasn't ridiculous, but I mean the cast of aliens, it just harked back to like Orphan 55. I'm thinking of the furry at the beginning of the episode, and there were just some things about it.
The recurring meme, possibly.
Yeah, the recurring meme that was great. But yeah, other than that, I thought Eccleston did an honorable job. One thing I've never really appreciated about Eccleston's tenure, from the clips that I've seen and I have to say Dalek didn't embody that. It was actually Dalek was one of the episodes that actually appreciated his performance, because in that particular episode he was a little more serious. In this episode you could see sparks of, the goofy side. I don't know if goofy is the right word, but you kind of get the idea. This smiling, goofy, kind of eccentric personality that he tends to channel from some of the clips that I've seen. I'm not real crazy about that, but and that is one of the reasons why I really liked his performance in Dalek. He that was scaled back quite a bit, but certainly it's just completely night and day compared to the clown that Jodie Whittaker channeled. So anyway,
that smiling goofiness that banishes pretty early on. I took that to be like a defense mechanism, like he's trying to cover up his emotions, his real emotions, like at the time, because I think this is right after the Day of the Doctor, and he's just regenerated, and he's like just screaming inside, and so I think that's why he's much more smiley and jokey, because he's being very artificial. I think that's an acting choice that they're doing, because like you see at the end of the episode, how he lets Cassandra die. That's something the Doctor really wouldn't do. This is a Doctor who is really out of sorts, right? Like this in a different universe. And I think this season, I'm only thinking about it now when we're talking about this in this stream. I think this season was all about he has an arc where he comes back to being the Doctor by the end of it. But to do that, I think he has to sacrifice himself.
After this episode, does he tend to take on a more serious demeanor?
I would say Unquiet Dead you'll be very pleased with.
Unquiet Dead, he steps it up again. Yeah, this does improve. So you will notice it does. Everybody has said it on the panel. Each week you can see that there is an improvement. Like Rose is not the greatest either. No. Right? But the End of the World is slightly better. And then when you get to the Unquiet Dead, the level actually jumps up. You can actually
because it's very traditional. You get you're into Victorian era, where this is Doctor Who territory.
And it's a supporting cast as well. And
Callow.
What's her name? Eva Miles, the one that plays Gwen in Torchwood. Mm-hmm. This is the first appearance of Gwen, but you'll see it's very clever later on in the series.
If it wasn't for Unquiet Dead, I probably wouldn't be into Doctor Who. I mean, that was the catalyst for me. If it would have just been like continued where Rose and the End of the World was, I probably would have just stopped watching.
I think that's really smart of Russell T Davies to recognize that in the first few episodes he should have a different voice, because it really benefits from that different voice, of Mark Gatiss.
Right?
Don't you think that it's a different? It's like and it's you feel you're much more. You're still Doctor. It's still Russell T Davies Doctor, but it's a more traditional thing. It's like a difference between like a Chris Boucher classic episode or a Robert Holmes one. Mm-hmm. They have different feelings.
And also it was like we just reviewed the Time Warrior, and the upcoming episode in Quiet Dead is an historical episode that does mesh, like a science fiction theme in a historical episode, and the Time Warrior was the same way. So I think that is I think the Unquiet Dead does that quite well. But I'm sure we'll talk about it all next week.
Would you consider this one of the episodes where you felt Rose? Because it wasn't for me, but you've mentioned on some occasions, and perhaps the rest of the panel would have a comment or two about that. But you have mentioned on some occasions that you thought Rose was annoying or you didn't like her.
I like her better with Eccleston. I didn't get quite annoyed with her as much, but when Tennant took over, the annoyance the level got higher for me. I thought she was tolerable with Eccleston.
Yeah, it was a different character, really, I found in season 2, and it's just the way that Rose played very well against the Ninth Doctor, but not so much with the 10th Doctor. And the Ninth Doctor wasn't afraid to put Rose in her place, and she wasn't afraid to put the Doctor in his place either, whereas Tennant never put Rose in her place.
Mm.
I like that squabble. I really did like that squabble.
Yeah. You won't see that now.
Right.
It channeled Sarah Jane. And I think that's why I think she was much more tolerable with Eccleston, because there was that Sarah Jane feel to her. in the first season of Doctor Who. But when they brought the romance in, that's a whole other subject.
Well, there was a scene in this episode where Rose and the Doctor have a bit of a falling out,
Right.
have a bit of a row, and there was a period. One of her lines was something to the effect of, but you brought me here. And I'm thinking, no, you volunteered to go.
Right.
What are you, stupid?
I think she just had a moment where you go, oh my God, I don't know this guy.
Yeah, but I hate Rose, but I even think at that point she cracked a little bit, because it got a little bit too much. When she's seen all the aliens come in, you could see it. She started looking around and you could see that it really got to her. She realized there, okay, I went with this man, but I didn't realize where, you know what I mean? It finally struck her. And I think at that point she was just lashing out, but she really knew it was her fault, because she kind of says then, my friend Shireen says, you should never fight with the designated driver. The only time you ever fought was over a man, and look at us. So straight away she kind of put it, and then he does the nice thing then when he does a thing with her phone so she can ring her mother. So I didn't mind that. I just don't like the fact that she was a bit of a selfish but Cheryl's trying
I guess she's just kind of a teenager.
A teenager.
Yeah, she was 19.
Yeah, I know, but maybe
I know, but I think she's much more annoying in with Tennant than Eccleston. Yeah.
When they start putting that, I agree with you. Once the romance elements start creeping into it, that was it.
Yeah, I really don't remember being more annoyed with it, because I haven't gone back to early Tennant since it was on. So I'm really looking forward to just getting to it naturally in this rewatch, to see my impression of it new. I'm looking at things much more objectively now, I think.
Yeah, it's like I prefer Martha Jones over Rose.
Oh yeah,
she fancied him. He just had no interest.
Yeah, but I could done without the whole Mooney thing. To be honest, I think that kind of got in the way. I would have much rather it not. I would have been platonic. But I do like Martha Jones, but I just didn't like the fact that she was. I did like it when she told him off, though. I thought he had that coming.
I like the way Catherine Tate told him off for that as well.
Yeah,
Catherine Tate says, he said, "Look, I just want a mate." Says, "You want a mate?"
Oh yeah, Donna.
yeah,
that was awesome. And I thought that was a combination because he kind of met his match with Donna Noble.
Yeah.
But you can see the I don't know. I see. This is what I've got a horrible feeling that will happen again. I think that whoever does take over with a takeover from Chibnall will probably think, well, that'll be the best way to kind of go with the series again, because that's when people,
Oh, you're talking about the romance angle?
Yeah, they might go.
I hope not.
I don't know. I think whoever takes over is going to really know their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that they listen to the real fans of Doctor Who, because the real, I'm not saying that people that don't like the romance of real Doctor Who, God, I don't want people to be all upset in the chat. But
okay, wait. Toby Whitehouse. He's written School Reunion, Vampires of Venice, God Complex, A Town Called Mercy, Under the Lake Before the Flood, and The Lie of the Land. I think that's a pretty good pedigree.
I'd be fine with that. Honestly, I would be completely fine with that.
I think he's ready to step up.
Yeah, the Monk triple bill was a bit of a letdown. The first episode, brilliant. The second episode, not quite so good. And then by the time we got to the third one, I was like, "Are you finished yet?" But,
it was overlong. It was overlong.
Yeah. But the other episodes you've mentioned, Under the Lake, did you say Before the Flood and Under the Lake?
Yeah, those were great episodes.
They're my two from Peter Capaldi's era. That's my favourite two-parter.
But all those episodes belie a real understanding of Doctor Who. If they're not stellar themselves, they really understand it. And I think him with a Russell T Davies and a Moffat as executive producers with him, wow, you're in for a really interesting ride.
Can I ask each of you, well, anybody who wants to chime in on this, because I'm sure you all have an opinion. We had a panel discussion not too long ago, and one of the panelists, I disagreed, but one of the panelists had suggested that romance between the Doctor and the companions was a good idea. And I did some looking around. Of course, I don't like the idea. I think it's stupid, but I did some looking around, snooping around on IMDb, and apparently those episodes did score high marks, higher than the average.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I feel like
the ladies love David Tennant, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So do you feel like it's a good idea though, or do you? Yeah, sure. The logic was this brings in new fans, right? It appeals to a wider market.
Yes,
the logic.
But if you remember what I said, it brings in new fans, but do they stay once the showrunner changes and the romance leaves? So that was my point.
They don't, because Matt Smith, after Matt Smith, when Peter Capaldi came in, there was a huge drop off. Even when Matt Smith came in, there was a huge drop off from Tennant to Smith at first.
Smith managed to keep people because I think he was also a bit dishy.
Well, the other thing is that Moffat threw the romance in between River and him, so there was a romantic thing. But my thing is that look, if you stay to the tenets of true Doctor Who, it's not going to fail over the long haul. Yeah, you're going to get ups. You're going to get these new, teenagers or I don't know, young girls, but I mean, if they're not going to stay. What's the point?
Well, my logic was, look, their logic was, Doctor Who, these shows have to evolve. They have to progress. Yeah. That's what draws in new fans. And I was saying, well, that's exactly how we got to where we are with Jodie Whittaker in this incarnation for the sake of progress, for the sake of evolution. And I just feel like, and of course he disagreed because he felt like it was unfair. But I think you could make an argument for, even though a lot of people reject this incarnation, you can make an argument for, look, if you're trying to evolve, if you're trying to, for the sake of progression, appeal to a wider market, that's exactly why Chibnall is that's what the agenda is based on, progression, is it not? And so if you want to drag in, if you want to widen your market, my point was throw in some kung fu, throw in some,
that in the 10th second episode.
Throw in some exploding automobiles. Hire Vin Diesel, and to play the companion, and you can just have an all-out action.
I'm up for it. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So
that's fun.
I would watch that over Jodie Whittaker.
Actually, as you're speaking, I was just like had a realization, and I'm not sure if this was a conscious decision by Russell T Davies or if it's just an expression of his innate understanding of life or the universe. It says something really interesting about the nature of love, because I was thinking, like, is it good for the Doctor to be having like a romantic thing with the companion? I was thinking, and I think normally not, but at that one time with Tennant, I think it worked, and it worked for this reason. It's because when Exeter regenerated, it was a more of an expression of a regaining of his love of life, of his desire for life, of his connection to life. It's his abandonment of this nihilism that he had. And so when he was born as like David Tennant, this is one of his like happiest moments of his existence. And like intrinsically bound up into that is Rose. Rose is part of that experience. I don't think it'd be possible for him not to fall in love with her, which I think for that one time was a really interesting idea. Yeah, and it really shaped that Doctor as well. After Rose had left, he's a Doctor who had his heart broken, and it was really interesting. So you kind of really felt it. But I think it really says something interesting about love. So love happens because I think more of the circumstance of your life, as well as being the right person in the right time. You've got to be in the right space, space and time as well.
The fear for me would be if I were a longtime fan, the fear for me would be that this starts to overtake the primary characteristics of what the Doctor's based on, and it starts to overshadow that. That would be the fear, is that they start, because there is some appeal to a wider market, that they start running away with that theme. That theme just starts to carry throughout the entire thread of the series. That would be if you can keep it in check and keep the priorities in terms of characteristics of what Doctor Who is based on in check, and keep that in proportion. Maybe for a short time you might be able to pull it off, and maybe it could work in the show's
and you know
favor.
what? It was one season.
It
feels
was.
Like it was much longer because it was such a big deal. Like when McGann like kissed what's her name,
Grace.
It was like the world shook. It was a seismic event in fandom, but that was nothing. Like Tennant legitimately, genuinely fell in love with Rose, and that's really interesting. Because
isn't it because
a 900-year-old being, and she's like a 23-year-old kid.
Is it not because maybe there's some contrast? We're just not used to seeing that, and that's what made it.
No, we're not.
You know what I mean? Well, I was going to say if that was, but if this is something that's consistent throughout the entire series, and you have this from series to series, and it becomes a staple, then it loses its surprise,
Power. And I think it just becomes a CW science fiction Riverdale, which is now what it is. So.
But have it ever been done again? I mean, you had
River.
I mean, you had River was different because he wasn't
River
really
was like him. Yeah, River was more like the Doctor, so I kind of understood it. I kind of, but I mean, he did actually. That didn't just end with Rose, because in the next series with Martha Jones, when he had Family of Blood, he did fall in love again, but that was because
that wasn't him,
right? But that wasn't him. That was the Fob Watch. Right. Because as soon as yeah, you're right. But it was still kind of a romance, which they would not have done even in the classic.
Although in the, have you ever read the novel Human Nature?
No.
That was really good. You download and read online. It's really good. Sylvester McCoy is transmuted into a human, and he's the one falling in love. And
that would be interesting.
And it's so interesting because it's so kind of like you see the echo of the Doctor within this fake person. It's very interesting.
The only other times I've seen him kind of flirt in the classic era was but he did it kind of not on purpose in the Aztecs.
Yeah, Kamika, whatever.
Yeah, and then Troughton was flirting with the I don't know what her name was, but Enemy of the World. He was a little flirty in that. But other than that, but I don't remember her character's name. I
feeling like Troughton was kind of flirting with the male villains as well. Did he ever get that?
Well, could have been. I don't know.
Hands way too often. That was.
Well, he was holding Jamie's hand, at the beginning of Tomb of Cyberman. So, but that was an accident.
Yeah.
Romance or not a romance?
I mean, no. Well, that was a bromance. That was a legitimate.
That really was legitimate romance.
Jamie and the Second Doctor, they loved each other.
The best chemistry between a companion and Doctor in New Who is definitely Donna.
Oh yeah, totally perfect. Honestly, they couldn't have done that better. They couldn't have done that any better.
I think that whole Amy arc was brilliant. I just think that whole Amy arc was really, really.
Amy doesn't bother me. Amy's arc doesn't bother me because she loved Rory, so that was good.
Right. But
He loved the Doctor that way, but it turned out she didn't love the Doctor that way. She loved him as a friend, yes. Right. But
he was a raggedy man.
So
I kind of let that pass.
That's okay.
I mean, if you look at it as just one story, like you take that sort of chapter of it, I really just love that her whole story, from beginning to end.
Here, guys, what would you rate End of the World? We might as well just do the rating. So what would you give it out of 10? Or does anybody here now remember Minus is still at play and this is
oh wow. This wouldn't even be on that spectrum.
So far it's been positive. Rose got I forgot what we did. We'll have to go back and check on Rose what we gave Rose the last time. But Daniel gave this episode, if I remember, he put his rating up, I think it was 7.5. He said it was better than what he thought it was back in 2005. So he gave it 7.5. So we'll start with you, Bonnet.
Yeah, 7.5 it sounds about right. I mean, the acting, there's no negatives here. I mean, not for this.
Right.
A solid switch. Yeah, solid swing and a miss. It was like a solid effort. You can't fault it.
Right. It's Russell T Davies.
mostly harmless. That's the review.
Even
of
his
it.
filler
Mostly
episodes are positive.
Yeah. I think 7.5 seems right.
Okay, so far everybody's in agreement. Let's ask Jason.
Well, I'm gonna turn this over to Bolster. I'll give you my rating. I'm just curious what Bolstrek thinks in addition.
Well, I'm completely unoriginal here. I was going to give it a 7.5 as well. Solid episode, not the best episode, but I think it was a good second introduction to New Who, and I think it helped solidify its new fan base.
Noel?
I would have to be in agreement with the panel. I would give this 7.5, maybe push it to an 8. I mean, I didn't find the music part, the Toxic song, I didn't find that cringe at the time, and I still don't. I find it funny. There was a couple of scenes in it that I thought when the aliens were being introduced, I thought some of those scenes were funny. So for me, I'm going to give it an 8, actually. So I'm going to be different. I'm going to give it 8.
Well,
and I know you're probably going to give it lower than everybody on this panel.
Look, I don't want to be different. I would like to say this is a 7.5 right down the line, but for me, because I've seen Dalek and most of the other episodes that you have to understand, most of the other Doctor episodes I've seen that are classic. These are episodes like Genesis of the Daleks. I'm because I've been searching out the iconic episodes. So this is what I'm comparing it to. And for me, this episode, I would give it a 5.5. Again,
that's fair. That's totally fair.
I don't want to seem like the Debbie Downer, but that's where I'm at with it.
I think that's totally fair.
No,
I really do.
This is your forced introduction, and as you said yourself, you are watching classic Who.
Yeah, I'm spoiling him. We're watching the good episodes. So
yeah, well, I think Jason, you have a unique perspective because the rest of us, I think there's a lot of nostalgia attached to this episode. So I think you may have the most unique perspective of the 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are understanding.
Yeah, it's good. That's good, man. That's good. I mean, there is for us. Bolstrek is spot on. This is nostalgia for us. I mean, I was so excited when this series was announced.
Right.
I mean, even Bolstrek was talking about it as well. I mean, everybody.
And yeah. Like, how excited were you for there to be good special effects like this on Doctor Who?
I know, but the trailer I think pushed that trailer, I don't care. I've said it and I'm going to say it again, is the greatest trailer for a series opener ever. That trailer alone where he's walking through the tunnel and all, running through the tunnel.
Yeah, I love that trailer. I love it.
Oh man, seriously, that's the best Doctor Who trailer I think we've gotten in New Who anyway, at least.
Right, you won't go with me.
And then he had all the little TV spots every week, every day, the week that it was the weekend it was on the countdown. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was awesome. And first time ever, it was cool to like Doctor Who. It was so weird.
I know.
They had a lot to prove, though. And I think that's why.
And they
had a lot to prove.
And they proved it, And again, the function of this episode was to dispel the image that the sets wobbled. That's the function of this episode.
Even the newspapers, the weekend of the episode, that Monday, it was like relief. It was like, it wasn't just positive. It wasn't just overwhelming.
It was like a victory lap.
It was like finally Doctor Who has arrived where it should be, and it was like. There was just a good feel about it. And don't get me wrong, at the time, there was some of these episodes that people weren't happy with. But the overwhelming feeling is that Doctor Who was on track, that RTD understood it. He was finding his feet. There wasn't any, people were willing to give RTD the room that he needed to get this right. And the fans did. The fans did, and this is the difference. The difference is we've done the same with Chris Chibnall. We've given him 2 series, though. I mean, for fans, give out to me, Bolstrek, Blue Bonnie, you, Jason, anybody else, neurotics out there, Critical Drink, give out to us all, right? They say, well, don't watch. So we've watched the 2 years. We've given it a chance, right? We've watched it like yous have. I'm sorry, we just don't like rubbish.
And it's got worse. It's got worse and more destructive.
You grow up with Made in Chelsea, the Kardashians, and the crap like that Jersey Shore. No wonder you like rubbish TV. You know what I mean? We grew up in a golden age of TV, which we did. We grew up in a golden age of TV, and we were not let down. Back then, in those days, the executives, all you were worried about was making decent TV and entertaining the audience.
Right.
Don't do that anymore. And back even in 2005, even though if you look back at RTD's era, right, which I'm shocked people saying, oh, Doctor Who needs to be more diverse. Watch the RTD's era.
Yeah.
We were looking at it and was saying, what are these people talking about? We were actually, because you do, now that we're alert to it all, you know, and these people keep harping on how Doctor Who has to be diverse. Even going back to the classic era, you notice it even more now because they keep harping on that. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Like,
yeah, RTD knew how to make it diverse without putting an agenda in everything.
I
So
know,
that's I mean, you know, so I don't know why they thought it needed to be any more. I mean, it couldn't get any more diverse. I mean,
No.
I don't know what they want. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's baffling because we were 2 episodes in to Christopher Eccleston's Evil Series, and I'm like, seriously, these people are crazy. They're mad. They just don't know what they're talking about. And then I see.
The thing is, the series is diverse is because Britain is diverse, and Doctor Who has always reflected that it's the society that made it. It's naturally diverse. That they've been screaming about diversity, and they've had to make up things to be diverse about. They had to make up like genders that we have to be diverse about because we're not. There is no level of the diversity where they will go, "Oh, we're good people." It's never going to happen. You know.
No.
The funny thing is, though, Doctor Who and Star Trek have always been the forefront.
Diverse.
Right?
Yeah.
They've always been diverse. They've always been the ones that have broke new ground. And
and appeal to people who like the diversity, like us.
Yeah. And these
we all like diversity.
And these are the very same shows that get criticised for not being diverse enough.
And we're fine with diversity as long as the acting's good. We don't care, and it's entertaining.
The reason that Doctor Who was 90% white in 1969 is because Britain was 90% white. It reflected Britain.
Right.
It's not that's just the reality.
Yes, I know. And it's like these guys want to rewrite history. You can't rewrite history.
Right.
Well, that's not very progressive either, going towards the past. Isn't progressive mean going forward? I mean,
they're just idiot children. That's really where we're in. You know, what's that? H.G. Wells, the Time Machine, where they go to the future and they find like this idiot, like tranquil people living on the surface, and they're being controlled and really farmed as food by the evil Morlocks. I'm one of the evil Morlocks, and this is like they're the idiots or the Illoi that I'm going to be eating.
You shouldn't have mentioned that.
That's just the reality of what's going. This is how our species diverges.
I have to go and watch the Time Machine now, thanks to you.
No, we're headed more to idiocracy than that.
You know, I like the remake
that
of the
movie.
Time Machine.
So do I, and a lot of people don't. It's not the greatest, but I do like that version.
It's good. I like the design of the time. It's like it references the original and it updates it. And like I like Jeremy Irons. I like the computer guy, and
Corey Pierce is deadly in it as well. He's
Mark Caddy's pretty good.
Oh, not David. He's mate. Well, I'm getting confused now, but yeah, it's a good story. Good little story. I do prefer the original, and always will prefer the original. But for a remake, it wasn't a bad remake. I was expecting
that's the model kit I've always wanted to get. A little if I can get myself a model kit, that Time Machine from the beginning, wouldn't that be awesome? I can't believe they don't make them. Somebody's got to make them.
Yeah, I would love the two of them.
I tell you, if you want us to review it, just send it in to the channel. We will review it in detail.
If you just want the time, we'll do the two of them. We'll do classic and the new one. If you want
you go.
The Time Machine.
We're here for you.
Movies. We could also do the Planet of the Apes
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna watch the.
If I was a billionaire.
So you're gonna watch the new. You're gonna watch the Mark Wahlberg one too, right? The Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Right now,
no, because if you're gonna do the time machine thing and you're gonna watch the old, you gotta watch the. I'm just kidding. That's an awful movie. Don't watch it.
But here's my thing on that.
Kalima.
Right, when that movie first came out, I actually loved it. I'm not going to lie. Right now, I've watched it about 14 times since then.
Well, we're talking about the Wahlberg Planet.
I don't know what it is about the Mark Wahlberg one, but there's just something about it that draws me to it every time. It is like I like the ending to
I'll
it.
tell you exactly what it is. You know what draws you to it? That orangutan played by
Helena Bonham Carter.
No. The sleazy
played
one.
by Earl Jones. What's his name? Earl Jones. The boy. What's his name? Earl Jones.
I gotta look him up. IMDb.
With the Darth Vader voice fella. Him?
No, not him. Not him. The one who's selling the slaves.
Paul Giamatti?
Him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's so scuzzy in that show.
Yeah, he's the reason you love that movie.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. I like the ending though.
I mean, it was okay.
A great ending.
I mean, but look,
I hate the end.
But look, if you're gonna remake a Planet of the Apes, and you got Charlton Heston,
right?
Why in God's name would you think Mark Wahlberg? Now that's a guy.
Okay, I agree with you that Mark Wahlberg was the wrong choice for it, and the movie isn't the greatest movie in the world.
The movie's just bad all over. You know,
like I said, there's worse movies. It was just the main character.
You just like the new ones.
Yep. I haven't seen the third one yet, though.
Have you not?
It's good. It's good. And you know what? They really set themselves up.
Yeah.
Because this one was the first one was a remake of like the fifth one or something like that. Right. So they've really set themselves up in that movie that they could really do a remake of that first movie now. Because they're talking in the news about this space shot that got lost in space.
Right.
And they're like, and so you have the astronauts who go for a time warp and they end up thousands of years in the future and they land in future ape lands. And you can see that's how you could really do a remake of that first movie now. Which I would like. In short.
When are they going to start making stop making remakes and just start, creating cool and original content? Is that just too much to ask?
Let's be honest, we say that the filmmaking now is not the greatest, but there is some good movies being made. I mean, the Joker is
that, yeah.
So they could still make good movies if they choose to make good movies, and I think that's where we're at with Hollywood. Really, it's whether they choose to make a good movie or not, or whether they choose to do a propaganda agenda piece. That's all it is now.
Yeah, you're right.
Or remakes. Right. It's either that or just a remake.
But you know why they do the remakes? They do the remakes to change history. They want
right.
Because they can't touch the originals. So what they do is we'll just remake it. We'll just
there's a cutoff where they used to make remakes and they tried to make them different. I mean, it wasn't a good movie, but I really liked the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves.
Right? The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, but that's when before they got too agenda driven.
Yeah, so where was the cutoff where it just all turned to, oh man, I still got to think about that.
Well, I've recently watched the remake of recently watched the remake of Pet Sematary. I don't know what. It was new and there was nothing else, and so I watched it and I'm just thinking, why the original wasn't even that great, so why are you remaking this movie?
I know.
The only thing I could the only thing I could think is the character, the guy that got hit that was speaking to Lewis, the main character, they turned him from a white man to a black guy. So my only thing was thinking, okay, you just remade this to make this one side character, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And they actually did change some things, but it was so god awful. I'm like, why am I watching this? Because I was bored and there was I'm like, I'll see. But if you're gonna remake a movie,
well, you don't need to remake. You don't need to remake you don't need to reboot Charlie's Angels for heaven's sake.
No, you
Nope.
don't.
No.
No.
But you know what you do need to remake? You need to remake Blazing Saddles, and I want to have
Oh, that would never
Gene
get
Wilder's
made today.
role.
No.
That's what I was going to
Never.
say. 'Cause you're
No,
not
I want
making
Gene
a
Wilder's role
movie
to
like
play
that, or
Adam
Mrs.
Sandler.
there's-
or something. Or
That's like remaking Willy Wonka. I mean, you know,
I-
Gene Wilder
Yeah, but
is amazing.
I would love there to be a really politically incorrect movie like Blazing Saddles.
But
be
they
a
wouldn't
mainstream
do
movie.
that. They would make it
They would,
politically
wouldn't it?
correct
I bet
and
they
unfunny.
would. I bet they'll just go.
No, they would cast Sarah Silverman.
Will be like, I can't stand it anymore. Yeah,
No,
here's
it'd
the
be
casting.
it would be Amy Schumer and Sarah Silverman in the 2 lead roles.
No,
And it would be the most
you're
unfunny
kidding.
thing you've
Okay,
ever seen.
No, okay, there's the right way of doing it. Adam Sandler is Gene Wilder, and
Right.
you have Chris Rock as the sheriff.
But they're not going to do that.
No, they
They're-
won't
They
do
would
that.
cast a bunch of unfunny women that are like
God.
that are just
Yeah, you're right. It'll be Amy Schumer and
Sarah
the
Silverman.
No, do you know
Not
what?
Sarah Silverman.
It'll
From
be,
the
it'll
one
be,
Ghostbusters.
it'll be reverse. It'll be reverse racism.
Oh,
All the
yeah.
characters will be reversed. It'll all be reversed. That's
It'd be
what they'll
Wanda
do.
Sykes
And
in the
that's
Cleavon
Moffat as
Little.
well.
Yeah, it'd be Wanda Sykes in the Cleavon Little role, and it would be Amy Schumer as Gene Wilder.
I'm surprised they haven't decided to do it. At this stage, they might as well just remake every bloody movie with a woman in it. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's
Back to the Future, you know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
They should make this. They should just make some like filter. They could put it like a CGI filter. They could run a movie through. Like they can de-age you. They could like change your gender. They could regender you. And then you don't have to reshoot it. You just have to like run it through the filter.
We're giving these idiots ideas. You know that, right?
Yeah, but hold on, Back to the
Oh my
Future
God.
won't be remade
Get on
because
that
the writers in charge of that have said no way, that's not happening. So long as they alive, that's not happening.
What was that?
Back to the Future.
Oh, well, God, I
Back to
hope
the
not.
They know they've
Yeah,
it's not
they're gonna
happening.
end up like dead in the floating in their swimming pool, shot
Todd-
one from the back of their head.
Todd
now,
Phillips.
Don't be giving them ideas, Rabbi. Jesus.
No,
Christ,
you
man.
should have listened. Written lipstick.
Todd
Have you looked
Phillips.
at that?
Todd Phillips has said, when he directed Joker and got out of comedy, he specifically did that because he said, "Look, people are, it's too risky. People are too scared to produce something funny because there's too many people that are offended, and that's really why it'll never get made. Because in this atmosphere, taking the temperature of the movie industry, people are way too scared to offend anybody."
Yep. Yeah, right.
I don't. You know what? Forget it. This is over. Everything's going to Netflix. Like Netflix being like, forget it. It's like now everything's being run by the consumer. You know, you won't be able to get away with things that don't sell anymore.
That's true. That's true. But I think
get away with things that sell, for that matter.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that there is a cowing down to people who raise hell, this small minority who raise hell because they're scared that somehow they'll offend enough people, a small minority that will cause, maybe a boycott or
do it. One guy will do it on a mid-range budget movie, make an insane fortune, and then everybody will do it.
Well, look at the way. I mean, Joker was we can all agree Joker was a runaway success, and look at the reception. Some idiots have said they were scared that people were gonna, they were gonna be shooters at the movie theater when they opened up. They were gonna be so inspired by Joker that we were going to have mass shootings and things of this nature.
Yeah.
So these people are, they're really kind of off their rocker in terms of, they just don't see things the way you and I do.
Leslie Jones is a plank, Daniel.
She's the most unfunny woman.
Well, here's the thing, they're still butthurt over this whole Ghostbusters 2016 thing. Listen, love, it was none got to do with the fact that you were a black woman. It was got to do with the fact that you were unfunny in a movie that was actually very bad. And if you can't accept that, then I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. The movie was absolutely atrocious, okay? And I'm sorry that you think it was actually very good, but there's many people, and the trailer proved it too. And the movie, the fact that it bombed, proved it, that people didn't like this. Now, I know you're a bit butthurt because Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out. Well, we don't know what's going to happen with that now, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah, straight to streaming, baby.
But that's gonna prove to be a success if they manage to make the movie that we think they're gonna make. Hopefully they don't go woke with this movie. But if they keep it like a Ghostbusters, I like the trailer. I actually like the fact that the trailer doesn't feel like a traditional Ghostbusters trailer. I think I there was enough nostalgia in it. It looks decent. I think that trailer just blew me away.
Okay, but if everything's going digital, like Rabbi was saying, like Ghostbusters, for example, like we were looking through some movies, like on Prime, now they have a section where it says, watch what's in theaters right now. Well, the only offering they gave was all of these women with women in it. I'm like, what is it for anyone else to watch? This looks stupid. But I get the Invisible Man, that kind of thing. But as far as Ghostbusters, how much do you think they're going to charge for that? Because some of these movies that they're touting on Prime now that you can watch from the theaters are like $20.
Wow.
So don't you think that's a little on the high end? Do you think people are going to pay that? I guess if it's $20 and as many people in your household can watch it, that might not be a bad thing, because you figure if you go to the theater, you're going to spend much more.
Well, here's the thing. They probably look at it this way, right? $20, yeah, but you're at home. You can make your own food. Sure, you'd spend over $50, $60
right
in a cinema with food.
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
I guess it's not a bargain if you're by yourself and then like you have to pay the $20 and you have no friends. But I mean, for us as a family,
I would say that's not really your problem then.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, you're a hermit, you don't have any friends. That's kind of high. But I guess for me, there's 4 people in this household, so that's a steal actually, if everyone's enjoying it and watching it.
Make your own popcorn.
I guess that's how I can look at it.
I think they're overcharging. I think, honestly, and I'll tell you why, because you can make a hell of a lot more money. If you look, how much does it cost to go to the theater? Charge what you're charging at the theater and let those people see it at home. What are you losing? I mean, you're losing money maybe on the popcorn and the other crap that maybe that's what they're trying to make up for by adding the extra.
What the theater makes. That's not actually what the actual movie companies make.
No, it's not. But I feel like if you're going to charge a certain amount, charge what people would pay if they were to go to the theater. Look, you're going to make a hell of a lot of money because there's a convenience factor. And I really feel like because it's convenient, you're going to make a hell of a lot of money. People don't have to get out, get into their car. It's an experience, sure. But I think movie theaters, and I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree, but they're going the way of the drive-in cinema. They really are.
No, there's no way movie theaters are surviving this.
Yeah. So
it's going to be what, 6 months before we can go in one, if we're lucky.
And they're not going to make it. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, can they lie dormant? I mean, I don't know. If the companies own the buildings and they own the property, it's not costing them anything. Yeah, they can cope. But who knows? They're renting the space. I don't see how.
Yeah, sorry guys, just have to cut in, but I'm gonna have to take off.
Me too. Everybody needs to leave now, so what we'll do is just before you all go, if you want to give our channels a shout out, let everybody know what you have up and coming on the channel. I was asked that yesterday on whose channel was I on yesterday? Yours, Ballstrick, yeah, and I never actually told everybody on the bloody channel. I kept mumbling on about something else. So go ahead, guys. Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go ahead, Bolstrek, since you got to go.
Okay. I'm Bolstrek at Twitter and the YouTubes and various things. So come hang out with me and my goat. And just wanted to say it was great talking to everybody again. And I will be talking with all of you again probably fairly soon. I am saying good evening.
All right.
Have
a good one.
Okay, take care, all.
Appreciate it. Good night. And that was Ballstrek, everybody. Blue Bonnet, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Blue Bonnet Hoovian, have a YouTube channel. Next week, I'm basically going to be trying to implement something new. 2 things, actually. I have planned on reviewing a Big Finish audio with Daniel called Fearmonger. So we're hoping to do that.
Good one.
Yeah, early on Saturday, probably early Saturday morning, my time. And then later in the evening, we're going to do a watch with us for first time. I'm going to try it out. It's of the Sonitarian experience. experiment.
Ah,
Oh, cool.
So we're going to try that and see how that works. This is the first time. And I believe,
how does that go with copyright? Because I was going to do a watch along, but there's something with the copyright. I know people do the watch along episodes and they can get away, but
the sound, you can't hear the sound. You just basically everyone in the chat just starts at the same time. We don't show the video, and then we comment as we. It was actually Gary Akers was on yesterday. We were reviewing the Time Warrior. It was his first time, so it was his idea. So he'll be coming on, and it'll be me, and whoever wants to join us is more than welcome. As long as I can get you on StreamYard, I have a basic thing, so can't put everybody on. But yeah, that's what we're planning. And see how it goes this time. It's kind of just a test. To see.
Yeah, it's very experimental. I have to say, I'm not real optimistic because there's some syncing issues that I think that are going to, perhaps it could end up throwing a monkey wrench in the whole works. But there'll be no video. There'll be no audio from the actual show. It'll just be somehow we'll try to organize it so that everyone can sync up the show close enough where you get an idea of, okay, we're kind of within 10 seconds apart of the same scene. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but that's the idea.
It's a 2-episode one, so that's a good one to start with.
That's
don't want anything too long. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I was going to do that with Sherry. We were going to kind of do Rose originally as a watch along, but again, it is, as Jason said, it is that sound issue, you know, and that's where BBC gets you. It's on that sound issue, the episode. If there's a way where you can watch a live streaming at the same time where your audience can't actually hear it.
Well, I think if we have headphones on, you kind of
no. We'll just basically it's going to be one of those where you're just everybody, you ready to turn it on? Hit play now.
Yeah.
And nobody, you won't hear any audio. All you'll hear is us kind of react. Everyone on the panel will react, and people in the chat can.
That's it. Just have a conversation while you're watching it. Yeah, that actually sounds like a brilliant idea. Actually, yeah.
So we're gonna.
Well, there you go. Jason's channel's up there. Chris is putting them all up there. Rabbi's Twitter is going up there. Put Blue Bonnet's channel's up there. So everybody's channel's getting thrown.
Thank you.
Our Twitter accounts and all of that. So, Jason, what have you got coming up? Have you got planned on your channel? Oh, sorry, Blue Bonnet. Now you got going on your channel. Sorry.
No, that was it. I've been basically trying to implement more Doctor Who content. I mean, I do other content, but I know most people aren't into everything that I'm into.
It up as well. It's always good to mix it up, I have to say. So keep it. That's a great idea. You should go for that and see how it works out for you. I'll pop into the chat. I'll watch that. So when you're doing that, we'll watch me and Sharon. We'll watch along, which is
it'll be a lot of fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Wait. What do you watch again?
The Sonatarian Experiment.
I'll come on with you. Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Right. So there you go. Sorted. Jason.
Well, you and I should do another UFO stream.
Yes, we definitely have to do one. Definitely.
If not a UFO stream, we'll do something. We just got through.
Because tomorrow's Monday, so
no, it won't be Monday. It'll be probably I don't know what you have planned for Friday or Saturday, maybe even Sunday, but one of those days we could set something up. That would be interesting. And Gary Akers, I think I could probably get. He's really I like the guy. It would be interesting to have him on as well.
Yeah, I do as well. I used to love him when he comes in all the time.
And Rabbi, you're more than welcome if you like UFO discussion. But I'd love to have you on as well. I haven't invited you because I don't know if you're where you stand on that. But if you want to join, you're more than welcome to come on. I can't hear you, but your mic's muted. But anyway, yeah. So there's that. Other than that, I don't put out a lot of content just because I'm so just so damn.
Sorry, my microphone was muted. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I had no idea what you're gonna. No, I'm saying I'd love to come on. I'm not anti at all. I'm actually just kind of ignorant about the whole UFO thing.
Maybe we might make it a believer then.
Earlier this year, the Revelation, what's it called again? The whole thing about the lozenge sling shape from '91 or.
I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Noel?
No, I don't. That one. Listen,
maybe 2004. I must be getting all the details wrong.
Jason,
that's okay.
Jason, the limit bring about to make him a believer.
Oh, what I think he's open. It's just he doesn't know a whole lot about.
Right, exactly. The Nimitz incident. When was that? That's the one I heard
what
about.
incident?
The Nimitz. That was where they were trying to make the Nimitz, I think, disappear or something to that effect.
No, that was when this was recent. It was in like 2004.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Philadelphia experiment. You're talking about, yeah, that was different.
No, this was this lozenge shaped thing that was like.
Hold on, was this the thing that was emitting crap out at the back of it?
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the one we've talked about. Nolan and I we've talked about that on the panel. It was a Tic Tac shaped. It was a Tic Tac shaped object that they had been tracking. They had jets, a couple of jets.
Korean military veterans telling you they saw.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we'll have you on, and we'll have Noel on, and maybe we can get Gary, and we can just have a full on discussion about it. So that would be good to have.
That's it. And as I said, try make it a regular thing, like the way Gary and Doomcock do it. They have the Exozone. We could have our own special, UFO show. We just obviously, Jason, as you've come up with the concept, you could come up with the name of the thing. Come up with a name like the lads have come up with the Exozone. You could come up with it.
Yeah, that would be great. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I think the same. I'm sure.
Brilliant, lovely. Right, guys.
Rabbi's you got anything going on? Sorry, I don't mean to.
Right, yeah.
Rabbi, Jesus.
I have.
Rabbi,
today. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got a video going on about the Radio Times article. I got to do something about that. I'm reviewing Westworld. I found a really interesting new show called Devs, which I really recommend if you can find it. It's really good. It's by Alex Garland, I think is a very good filmmaker. Did Annihilation, which I like. That's on Netflix. And you'll see the one about a robot. Anyway, he's pretty good. Was it Ex Machina? Machina.
Okay.
So yeah, that show Devs is pretty good. I'll be reviewing that. I'm reviewing stuff about what to watch as civilization ends. So next one is 12 Monkeys. I'm going to do a review on that. And I got Doctor Who's to review. Oh, hopefully we'll do a Breaking Bad live stream. When do you want to do it? Tomorrow?
What time tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll do it like tomorrow. Do you want to do it tomorrow? Will you like roughly?
I get off at 2. I get off 2:30 my time.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't get. Well, yeah, I don't get home till about 3.
So 3 is what are you on? Pacific time? You're on Central time.
So that'd be 8 my time.
Yeah, that sounds good. So it'll be 10 for me. Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'll rewatch it. It's the first episode, right? I'll rewatch it tonight.
Right.
Yeah, we'll watch the first episode. What time did we start today? Was it 3 o'clock your time we started today?
My time?
No.
It was a little after 3. It was like 3:05 or something.
Fine. Okay, good. So yeah, we'll aim for the same.
Okay.
Right, grand. So I've got to rewatch Breaking Bad episode 1 tomorrow.
Right.
Brilliant.
Yep. That's
painful.
painful.
Yeah, I like to watch before we stream because obviously it's fresh.
Right, it's been a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very good pilot, I remember. I haven't seen it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to going back to it. Fine, I have to go
right.
to bed.
Good night,
Yeah,
good night, everybody. Thank you, Blue
Night.
All right. All right.
As well. Thank you guys for joining me on the panel tonight. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Night.
You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Too. Bye. And guys, thank you in the live chat. Thank you to all the moderators and everybody that joined in the chat tonight. I know we kind of, obviously we can only review the episode for so long, and then obviously the topic of conversation does actually change a little bit. We will try to be more disciplined for the next episode, but I hope everybody did enjoy the stream anyway. I did. Chris has also put everybody's YouTube channel and whoever has obviously a Twitter account or a Facebook account has also been put up. And I've seen the lads have also put up, and Lone Wolf have put up my second channel as well. I will be on the second channel later on. Obviously, we will be continuing our FIFA career mode, legendary career mode, Manchester United. Just to fill anybody in that couldn't stay till the end of the stream, Crystal, by the way, stayed from almost nearly the end of the stream. So thank you for that. And a couple of other people popped in. But I won every other game since she's left. I think there was 4 or 5 more games I played. I beat Liverpool and Arsenal in that as well. So I'm second now, I think, in the league, behind Manchester City. So join me later on to see what happens on that. That's on the Irish Geek channel. It's in the live chat there. And I see Chris has also put Blue Bonnet's Twitter up as well. And if any of you guys haven't followed me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter as well. Now, listen, when you follow me on Twitter, it's going to obviously, because I have my thing protected, my account protected because of what's happened over Series 12. If you could send me a message on Twitter just to let me know that you're at the bit, who you are on the live, that you've been on these live streams or on the live chat, let me know so I know who it is, because I don't want to be adding people pretending, because it causes too much, but yeah, everybody's laughing about the discipline on topic. Yeah, right, LOL. I know. Of course, it's always going to sway, but listen, my overall thoughts is, as I said, it's an 8 out of 10. It was an improvement for me, but next week's episode, so next week's panel is going to be great. It's Young, Quiet, Dead. This is where I do agree with Blue Bonnet. I think this is the start of where Doctor Who now starts moving on and moving forward and keeps getting better and better, in my opinion. And I just want to thank everybody. And listen, all my previous panels as well, all those previous panelists like Daniel, Dan from the Space Book, all those other YouTubers as well, Eddie Iscaro, that's Talk to Doctor, all of those YouTubers. Go and subscribe to them right now, guys. We need you more than ever. Even if it's to share the video, or to alert people to our channel. We really appreciate all the support, yeah, because obviously YouTube behind the scenes, not many people working there, so Twitter's notification system and all has gone all over the place. So we do rely on you guys a lot more than normal, than usual, I should say. So just if you could share these streams and stuff, and and if there's fellow Whovians out there that on any social media platform that feel the same way as you, direct them to all our channels. The more support we have, the better, and hopefully then we can start some sort of campaign to get rid of Chris Chibnall, because he has to go. Right, listen, folks, stay safe. As I said, look after yourselves and make sure you follow all that medical advice that you're given. And until Monday, good night, stay safe, God bless you all, and see you all very, very soon on the Irish Geek.